The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
It's time now for a full look at your forecast with Astrid. Maybe we can canoodle before you get into it.
We're not going to be canoodling. What?
Oh, I thought canoodle meant chat.
Here's some other great town names. Lititz.
It's Lidditz.
And Hugh Janus, turning 10. We'd mentioned...
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. It's one of those. It's one of those.
I totally fell for it, didn't I?
Welcome to the show.
It's showtime.
Man, these hours suck.
Yeah, I can think of some better ones.
They really do. These hours suck.
I enjoy being with all of you.
Sure.
And I love that we're full strength with our little Muppet back today.
Is this real life?
It is real life.
Oh, boy.
Here's the deal. The vomit and the diarrhea has been mopped up, and Wapple has returned to his regular post here on the Half-Ass Morning Show. Welcome to the program. Wapple's back after a brief illness. How you feeling there, son?
So much better.
Just don't touch anything.
I'm just so happy to be back and out of my bed. That's the only place I was. The bed and the bathroom.
Don't breathe on anything and don't touch anything.
Yeah, do your best.
All right.
Yeah, we were really concerned when you had mentioned you didn't smoke any weed, because I know you were at least a couple times a day on that. And so have you since Friday is when it started to get bad, right?
Yes.
And have you since?
I did a little bit yesterday.
Okay, good. Just to get back on that horse.
Yeah.
Smart.
Couldn't go fully without doing it all weekend or something.
Was that difficult for you, or were you so sick it didn't matter?
I was so sick it didn't even matter. I didn't even think about it. All I could think about was, oh, look, the sun's going down again. Oh, look, the sun's coming up.
You know what? You were the last man standing. I thought you were superhuman with your immune system. You're the only one here who hadn't got COVID. I mean, shoot, a couple of us have gotten it multiple times.
Yeah, Josh and I have like a punch card at this point, basically.
Dana's a four-timer at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's a happy vet.
You lasted the whole time.
Yeah.
You should be proud of yourself.
I am.
I'm proud of you, buddy.
That not fun.
You did good.
Sweat.
You did.
You did good. You sweated out.
Oh, sweat out of other areas.
Yeah, I feel for you.
We talked about that yesterday on the air, how there were fluids pouring out of other areas.
You got lucky because I didn't, sarcastically, I never had that. Never once. I never had the combination of the diarrhea and throwing up. That sounds miserable.
Damn near. I ate like 5 things since Friday.
Oh, geez, Wapple.
Alls you could eat were 5 different foods.
Yeah, just like popsicles, a dilly bar,
Dilly.
like 3/4 of a cup of chicken noodle soup, and that was about it.
Man. Sorry, Brett. Well, you seem like you're back in business. We're glad to hear it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I was really looking forward to hearing a story this morning. We started with some news bloopers. Our news mogul, Janel Klein, is going to join us today. And, some funny moments on television news. Maybe she's got one she can share with us. I'm not sure if she's ever shared a story like that before.
She's never messed up.
Well, maybe she's been around someone who has.
Yeah.
Somebody fell in your audio there in your intro. Somebody fell for the Hugh Janus joke in the year 2024.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it was one of those where, sometimes like things come in last second and he didn't have time to pre-read it. It had to have been something like that, right? But yeah, Hugh Janus turned 10, apparently, according to that newsman. But Dana had mentioned that he once was told by the program director of KFan, when Dana led a segment, it was the worst 3 minutes of radio.
It was.
That was what he said to you?
Yeah, I got done doing a top-of-the-hour sports update on New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day, excuse me, and the boss sent me a text message, and I checked my phone right when I got done. He said that was the worst 3 minutes in sports radio history.
Well, did you do a bad job?
I did do a bad job.
What made it so bad?
So here's the deal. So it was New Year's Day. So I was running best of, and I got there at about 11 o'clock. And that was my shift to start at 11 a.m. I went out the night before. I wasn't going to go out the night before, but my dog passed away, my childhood beloved dog, Cody. I got that phone call from my parents, and they said, it's time to come say goodbye to Cody. And so I was going to stay in, but my buddies were like, no, we're gonna take you out. We're going to get you hammered. We're going to have a lot of fun. And so I did. And went out, and then usually the way it worked at the station was when you would get there for your shift to start at 11, the guy before you would handle the first sports update, and that would give you an hour to write one, to
prepare for the next one.
Exactly. And I had not seen anything that happened in sports the night before. I had no clue what was happening, and the guy said, no, I got to get out of here. You're on your own. So I had 2 minutes to prepare. I just grabbed the sports section, the Star Tribune, and the music bed hit, and I just started looking through. I'm like, looks like the Wild played last night. 3-2 win, goals by, and I'm flipping through to try to find the box score.
You covered a couple of bowl games.
Yeah, and I was like, looks like Koivu had one. Oh, yeah, two. All right. Some New Year's Day bowl games today. Looks like Auburn's playing.
So essentially, it was obvious you had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
You're stumbling through this thing.
Just winging the entire thing.
And was it Chad Abbott?
Yeah, it was.
The program director, K-Fan? Yeah, I've heard he's very funny and a cool dude.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine he was just busting your balls.
He was. It was in jest, but also it was. I wish I still had the audio of it because it was cool. Just a disaster.
It sounds like early days at Brown, huh, Nick?
Well, yeah, I suppose. Brown was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Brown Institute, of course. Some folks might not know what we're talking about because
It's Brown College. You guys sounded pretty fancy for a second there.
What's that?
Wasn't it Brown like a prestigious university?
Yeah.
What did we say?
You said Brown, but if you just say Brown, they might assume you mean Brown University.
Brown College, what Brown University?
It's like an Ivy League school.
Right,
I think we should keep that up. We should just keep saying Brown.
I went to Brown.
Yeah.
Brown Institute, the radio school. There you go. Yeah, that was, we could tell Brown Institute stories all day long. That was a riot, but...
Yeah, we've told this story before, too, but it was funny. We worked with a guy who obviously did not prepare for an interview and just started reading the very top of a Wikipedia page. Dana worked with this guy, too. So-and-so is an American comedian as he's reading the top. And so we had to stop and go, wait a minute, are you just now reading his Wikipedia page word for word from the beginning?
That was wildly embarrassing.
That really was. Oh, man. I wish I could remember who we were talking to. I was so embarrassed I wanted to put it out of my mind.
Yeah, I don't think it was any kind of a big-time comic, but it was nonetheless a guy.
I know he was American.
Yes, he was.
I know. I'll never forget that part.
And he was a comedian, too, correct?
Yes.
Anyone above 10 years old could tell this guy was just reading the first paragraph of a damn Wikipedia page, and it was just embarrassing as hell. That's as good as it gets for you, dude, is just to read the friggin' Wiki. We've all been there, Dana. Where,
absolutely.
Where you cut a break, you go to commercial, you go to a song, and you say to yourself, "Jesus Christ, what the hell was that?"
I hate myself.
Well, what did I just do?
There was a dude before the morning show. I'd be, producing audio and stuff like that, and the studios are right next to each other, and they're not necessarily soundproof. And this guy, he'd get done with the break, and he'd be swearing and throwing stuff. Something must not have went his way, like F-bombs and throwing a computer or a keyboard and
scary.
stuff.
He would do a live break and then go to commercial or song and then have a meltdown?
And flip out.
Oh.
Yeah. Something must not have gone his way.
That's terrifying. I don't want to be around anybody that's like that.
Dana, you were mentioning that, your coworker, the guy who was supposed to help you out a little bit, abandoned you.
Yeah.
And put you in a tough spot. You had 2 minutes to prepare a live break. You were left out to dry, hung out to dry. I wish I could blame other people for a couple of my more embarrassing moments in the business. One of them, it wasn't on air, but it was part of, our general duties at the time. Although I didn't feel like I deserved this treatment. This was many, many years ago at one of these live concert festivals. And for whatever reason, probably because no one else wanted to do it and I was still relatively young, I was the guy that was going to go around all friggin' day long and interview these baby bands that nobody cares about, right? Mm-hmm. I hated that. And I was so pissed off that I was selected to be that guy. So, all day long, there's these unknown bands who are part of this all-day festival, all-weekend festival. All day long, they file into a tent, and I am the guy to give them a 5-minute interview and make them feel special and appreciated. I have no idea where the audio or video of this ever ended up. Probably nowhere. It probably was just, as they call it in the industry, a BJ. Just make these guys and gals feel like they're important, even though no one in the crowd is going to have any idea who they are. So for whatever reason, I was picked for that gig, and I was so pissed off that I prepared nothing. And I did not care. I mispronounced their names. I had no idea who they were. I asked them the same 3-4 questions, and I thought that performance would get me out of those duties the following show. Sure. No. They stuck me with it again, and I just kept making it worse and worse on myself because I was just pissed.
Yeah, I've been there a few times where someone was doing an interview and at a festival show, had no clue who the band was.
Maybe they were like me and they just made a point not to do any research just because they were pissed.
I think in one case, the guy wanted to big time a band that, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones were big, during this time. They were very popular, and he pretended he didn't know who they were at all. And that was one of those where, the meme where Homer kind of disappears into the bush? Yep. That's exactly what I did. I thought this is so uncomfortable and unnecessary to big time these guys.
Let me just take a minute, if you don't mind, Josh. I'm not a religious person, but I'm looking up at the sky, and I want to just say this. God, thank you that we no longer live in a time where the mighty, mighty Boss Tones are, quote, really big. Thank you for that. Thank you for moving us beyond that. So there you go. Wapple's back. Jungle Jane. I think we mentioned that, right? Janel Klein.
Yeah. She'll be in studio.
Did we mention that out loud?
We did.
Yeah. She's going to be stopping by later this morning so Wapple can get her good and sick. And we're going to have a ton of laughs here, by damn. Ashley seems to believe that today is National Pokemon Day. How strongly do we all feel about that?
I double-checked it. Let me tipple.
No, you're right. It is.
No, I'm not. Do we feel strongly that you're correct about National Pokemon?
It is National Pokemon.
Like
she misunderstood the question. What did you say, Josh?
It is National Pokemon Day.
How strongly do you feel about that?
I think I was a little too old to get into it. Came out 3 years after I graduated from high school.
Yeah, that's a tough age to get into Pokemon.
But, now, that being said, I know
there's plenty of grown folks, right, Josh?
What's that?
Plenty of grown folks who
are into it. Yeah,
definitely.
Like my brother-in-law, for example, when Pokemon Go was big, and you'd see people saying, "Hey, I'm not a bad driver. I'm just searching for Charizard," or whatever they'd say on the bumper sticker of their car.
Yeah,
he was like that, where we'd have to stop something and there's a so-and-so I got to go, or there's a gym over here we got to go to.
That's adorable.
He and his son were super into it. He more so than his son, I believe.
I love Pokemon. I just watched that Pikachu movie with Ryan Reynolds.
That's a very fun movie.
Oh, that's a good movie. Yeah.
Well, I've been afraid. I know, Nick, you're definitely going to make fun of me for this.
What's that?
When I see a cute movie like that, I know there's probably going to be a chance that Pikachu gets hurt in it, and I'm going to cry. So I haven't watched it because it probably came out, at least a year ago, right?
I'd get mad at you if I had any idea what it was you were talking about.
The Pokemon movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was like 2019.
Yeah, that came out a few years ago.
Oh, really? Yeah. So I put it off, and finally I was like, all right, I feel strong enough to watch this now.
Do you really think they were going to kill off Pikachu?
Well, he did get hurt, and it did make me very sad.
Yeah, there you go. For those of you, and a few of you have already texted in and said you love Pokemon Go, whatever it is. I don't know. I've never seen examples of any of this. Whatever it is, Pokemon or Pokemon Go, we have lots of folks texting in saying they go crazy for this stuff. So today is National Pokemon Day.
I grew up playing those video games on my Nintendo DS.
That was where it was first released, correct?
Game Boy.
Was
Oh, it was Game Boy?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of Game Boy then. But yeah, I love those games.
Yeah, Red and Blue were the first ones that came out on Game Boy back in the day.
It definitely helped that the kid's name was Ash. I mean, I was drawn to it right away.
You were drawn to it for what reason?
The main guy, his name is Ash.
Ash Ketchum.
Yeah.
And your name is Ashley.
Yeah.
And that just grabbed you.
Oh, especially when I was a kid. Yup.
My God. We have almost the exact same name.
Exactly.
I'm going to dedicate lots of time to this.
Have you guys ever heard the origination of the game? Like, kind of what made the guy want to make it?
No.
So I hope this is true, but I thought I'd read before that when he was a kid, he'd collect bugs, right? That was his thing, collecting bugs. And then eventually he just decided I prefer video games more, so he tried to find a way to combine it. And so instead of bugs, there are these monsters in his pocket or whatever, and that's kind of how it started.
Yeah,
That's
Pocket
cute.
Monsters.
That's what it means, right? Pokemon, Pocket Monsters?
Pocket Monsters.
It's a crazy thing.
It's also the same. It's also another crazy video game story. I saw the guy that created Pac-Man was looking at a pizza, and there's one slice gone, and he goes, "Oh, that could be an interesting video game character."
I heard that true. I heard that as well.
And
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true, and that's how Pac-Man got created.
F me running. You can't make stuff like that up, Wapple.
You can't.
Nope.
Somehow
You can try like hell, but you can't.
I'd probably believe it.
Do you believe it? You just said it.
Yeah, I do.
Dana, I think I got your target marketing on the internet the other day.
Yeah, what'd you find?
I was reading an article, and all of a sudden a little ad popped up for some Pac-Man wallpaper, like actual wallpaper for your home. And it was just a layout of the game, and I thought, did I somehow use Dana's computer?
Yeah.
Why is this popping up?
Do I have Dana's laptop right now?
Yeah, what did I search that this is popping up?
Yeah, I have a Pac-Man shower curtain, and my fiance now, she has instructed me that is not to be moved over to her house.
She's not interested.
No,
Maybe
sounds
she
adorable.
doesn't make the rules.
Is that a deal breaker for you?
no, my place,
Sissy.
my place right now is so just over the top with decorations of Fast and Furious and Pac-Man and Donkey Kong stuff that it was kind of an overcorrection from when I was married before. I don't need all that stuff displayed at all times anymore.
You don't sound very convinced. You sounds like you're trying to talk yourself into it. I didn't believe anything you just said.
I'm actually quite good with it.
Has she let you put up anything? Have you been able to bring any of your childhood adult toys over to her house?
Absolutely, yeah. There's lots of places for my stuff to go.
Well, that's good. The garbage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a dead man walking. It's obvious by the tone of his voice. You can't fool us, dude.
Here, put it under the stairs.
No. I've made the mature decision to put some of these things in storage.
That Bruce Springsteen poster, that would look great in the basement bathroom behind the door where no one can see it.
Getting all kinds of text messages here. Our listeners are so funny. We were talking briefly about on-air gong shows. You know, the terrible mistakes we've made on air or off air to embarrass ourselves in our careers here in the business. Well, a couple people first, they think they're cute. They're joking around about the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Someone swamp stomping G, because I mentioned, I'm very thankful that we don't live in a time anymore where you need to step lightly around the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Swamp Stomping Jesus texted in to say, you better knock on wood that the Boss Tones don't come back. Another listener, I think it was Steeler fan Jesus, said, sounds like Nick doesn't like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, or at least that's the impression that I get. Other folks texted in to remind me, I guess, of some other terrible, terrible moments that I personally have had. They brought up the Black Sabbath story. Don't need to tell that story again, but yeah, that was ridiculously embarrassing. And then another text that came in, very funny. Someone texted in and just said, who the hell is Korn? Which that was a fun moment. That was a fun moment where me and my ex-radio partner were sitting in a suite. It was a Metallica show, and the radio station had a big fat-ass suite for all of us to watch the concert from. This is 25 years ago. I don't remember when. Long time ago. I didn't I did not see the opening band. I just walked in as the lights were dimming for Metallica, sat down on a couch in this suite next to my old radio partner, and suddenly our promotions director was in a panic. Josh remembers how she used to panic.
Oh, quite often, yeah.
She was in a panic that me and my partner were sitting on this couch, she said. And what I recognized, it was quite, you couldn't avoid this. There were 4 or 5 really oddly dressed dudes standing behind her. But, it was back in those days, we had employees that dressed like rock stars, didn't we, Josh?
Oh, yeah. They would wear costumes, not necessarily outfits.
So we had coworkers, I should say, that dressed like rock stars. So to see a bunch of pierced up dudes wearing odd outfits was nothing new. I figured they were new guys coming to work at the radio. I didn't know. I just knew there she was in a panic, and these oddball dudes. And she said, "You two need to get up off the couch. Korn is here, and they want to sit down." And I very loudly, because Metallica had started playing at this point, I very loudly said, "Who the F is Korn?" And they were standing right behind her. And I embarrassed her because they were, at that point, they sort of were somebodies. That then the looks on their faces, I'll never forget. They were thinking, well, who's this prick? But I'd never heard of Korn. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
I thought she was great. I loved her. It was fun working with her, but that's one negative would be she did expect everyone to treat any band like they were gods. They'd kick you out of a seat, whatever it was. The bands were everything to her.
Well, yeah. And she fell quickly in love with one-hit wonders. She portrayed herself as this deep music expert, right? But really, she was just fall in love with, whoever the latest band was that week with the hit song, and that annoyed me. And an example of that is when Kiss reunited in 1996. This was big for me and a lot of people. This is how little she knew deep down, even though she portrayed herself to be this expert. It was announced that Kiss was reuniting and they were going to go on tour. And I was beyond excited for this. I was walking around the building all day saying, "Did you hear about this? This is going to be unbelievable. It's going to be huge." And our promotions director, this gal that Josh and I are referencing, I passed it on to her. I said, "Yeah, did you hear that Kiss is back together? They made it official. They're going to go on tour." And she said, "Oh, well, where are they going to play then? Like Medina?" And no offense to Medina, everyone knows it's one of my favorite places in the world. I said, that comment right there shows that you don't know jack squat. Yeah, they're going to play a bowling alley, Kiss. That's where they're going to play.
Yeah, I think, right, her pet bands especially were.
Yeah.
You better fall all over these guys.
Yeah.
Flavor of the moment type of thing.
I know she got mad at us once because we didn't end the show early to thank some guys. I forgot the band. It was a one-hit wonder type band. Do you remember that? She was furious.
No.
Yelling about it. And it's like, well, wait, we were on the air. What were we supposed to do? If they would have hung out for 3 more minutes, we would have been good to go. But, all that being said, she was awesome. And one of the best at her job. Like, by far. She was great.
Happy National Pokemon Day. What else is going on around here, Josh?
Well, I was reminded of Dana. You had talked about the worst 3 minutes of radio where your program director said you had it. Well, and you mentioned a lot of it had to do with you going out, getting wasted the night before.
Right.
And
vastly unprepared.
Yeah, your coworker didn't help you out by screwing you when you got there, figuratively. One time we went out with the boss, me and Nick, and our boss went out, our old boss, and, I'm sorry, maybe you weren't there. I take that back. We went to Benihana.
Oh, sure.
And I'd never had sake before, and he told me it was tea. And he's like, it's tradition.
Oh, that's not right.
I'm like, I don't really like tea. He's like, well, you got to. It's tradition. You got to drink it here. So I had a few of them, right? He's like, here, have another one. And I realized I'm drunk. And I had no clue. I thought something was wrong with me. And they're all laughing at me, right? Because I didn't know I'm an idiot. And I'm like, dude, I have to go on the air in like an hour. It was like an overnight thing. And he's like, just don't say the F word. You're good to go. I'm like, like, all right. So I went in there, and the first thing I did was say the F word because it was in my head.
Yeah,
And
that's his fault.
I had said that because we had gone to a show. I'm like, we went to this show. It was effing awesome. And then I was like, oh no, OS. So I twice in a row, and that's before we had a delay. So I thought, well, I'm going to be fired because my boss got me drunk, And so I called him up immediately, told him what happened, and he's like, nobody's listening. We're good.
It's overnights. It's fine.
Yeah, overnights doesn't even count. Don't worry about it.
Old Cubby drunk on the air.
Oh, man. Because I would never do anything
again.
No. I would never do something like that.
We'll never hear that again. Well, maybe... maybe.
Nowadays I could probably sue for something like that, right?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
For trauma or something. I don't know.
Sue for a lot of things these days. Maybe our...
It doesn't even have to be real. You can just throw something out there.
Maybe our, our retirement show, maybe we can get you good and drunk.
Yeah, why not? That'd be kind of fun.
I know.
I love that.
I know I'll be.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
I'll be good and drunk for that friggin' action. All right, what else is going on? So we're ready to roll. It's, what day is it? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday already.
Tuesday morning. We'll take a break. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
Business has always been about turning a profit, making money. But can it stand for something more? Something beyond dollars and cents? We think so. We think that today, business has a higher calling, a purpose to be fair and just, to do right by their workers, customers, communities, and the environment. And it turns out companies successful doing that also do better for their bottom line. When you see the Just Capital seal, it means this company is a force for good. Visit justcapital.com to learn more.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. Yeah, it can get pretty sleazy and pretty shady in the music business. You regular civilians wouldn't understand. But we here in the music business, we see it every day. In this business... Are you listening over there, Wapple?
Yes.
Not that I have to tell you, you know this already. In this business, hell, you never know. You'd be walking through the building, boom, there's Ozzy Osbourne. Or maybe one day, boom, there's James Hetfield or Chris Lindahl. And it's not a big deal. It's just part of the business, isn't it, Josh?
Well, it's not a big deal to us. The average person would be very impressed by that.
A civilian is what I call them.
And as I've heard somebody else in this building yell at a brand new intern, this is the entertainment industry. Don't you know this?
That's
you
awful.
guys don't know. We've worked with some douchebags, that's for sure.
Yeah, file that little characterization under the category of things radio douchebags have actually said out loud in this building in the past.
Yep, overheard at loud volumes. Word for word what Nick said.
I just had to go that route real quick.
That was incredible.
I know it was.
That rant.
It was such an incredible amount of nonsense and pure BS that I'll never forget it.
I remember the boom Ozzy Osbourne. I was looking around like, where? He's one of my favorite artists. And he can walk in at any second. That's great.
It was a manager. It was a manager here years ago telling a brand new employee about the music business, the entertainment industry, leading them to believe that this was going to be some kind of parade of the stars on a daily basis to try to impress them and intimidate them. But the civilians line, I had to throw that in because that was one of the most disappointing. You guys know I like porno movies, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And over the years, I've even had an appreciation for certain porn stars, porn actors and actresses, thought highly of them. And I was watching this documentary, and it just took all the friggin' wind out of my sails. I'm watching this documentary on how pornos are made or the history of porn or something like that. And damn near every single one of these porn actors and actresses that I thought highly of, they referred to us, folks who aren't in the industry, they referred to us as civilians. You know what civilians don't understand about the business? You know, a civilian walked up to me the other day and said, "Hey, Peter North, can you tell me about the..." And I said, "Who in the hell do you people think you are?" It was so just horribly obnoxious and arrogant. I thought, I don't know if I like these people so much. What do you mean civilians? Yes. Oh, you're so different? That just rubbed me the wrong way, and I didn't mean to use that phrase because then folks are going to text in because they hop on the simple things. But anyway, and then someone might even go after the fact that I said hop on the simple. I've dug myself a hole in that. Civilians wouldn't understand what we go through.
Civilians. As if she's some sort of military hero.
Yeah.
She can throw that out.
It aggravated me. But back to the shadiness of the music industry. A small-time hardcore band has found themselves to be suddenly famous after this story started going round and round like they do. The stories just keep going. Word is, this hardcore band, their singer, allegedly dosed one of his bandmates, a dude, dosed one of his bandmates with estrogen in an attempt to steal that bandmate's fiancé.
I gotta say, I mean, points for originality.
Yeah.
I would never think of something like that.
The band is called, this is my best effort, Lorona, L-L-O-R-O-N-A, Lorona. They put this story up on their Instagram page, set up, and they said that their singer, a fella by the name of Diego, attempted to turn his bandmate, who goes by the name of, what is it, Josh?
Six.
With
two X's.
Oh, okay.
Like Nikki Six.
But you can't do that. There's already a Nikki Six. You can't be Six.
Everybody's going to think Nikki Six.
I mean, what? There was Six on Blossom. She was a totally different story. But anyway, they put this story on their Instagram page. The singer, Diego, attempted to turn his bandmate, Six, into a lady by giving him drinks laced with estrogen, which is, of course, if you didn't know, a female hormone. And Diego's ultimate goal, according to the Post, was to make himself look more manly compared to his bandmate, so Diego could swoop in on Six's lady.
This guy's dedicated.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
really
ridiculous.
Josh said it, man. I mean,
I want to know this lady.
How do you think of such a thing? How do you settle on that strategy?
I would think, like, okay, I got to just take some testosterone, you know, versus thinking. I would never think just to bring someone else down. I think I need to improve myself,
Right.
and if I thought that's what it was, I need to make myself more manly.
Do you think there's a chance you could find a picture of this lady where a guy would go that far to try to land her?
Oh, I'll do my best
to try to woo her or impress her. Try to find that lady. Maybe we can unfairly judge how far we would go for her. The band's post called this idea, quote, a stupid caveman mindset that makes zero sense. It's horrible, but give the guy some credit for originality before you shun him forever. The band members claim that Diego admitted to all this mess when he was drunk. And then apparently he admitted it again in a text message.
Oh, paper trail.
Paper trail?
Yeah. Can't go back from that.
The band wrote, "We have decided to part ways with our vocalist Diego due to the admission of very disturbing and concerning behavior towards one of our band members and their partner. He has admitted to being obsessed with said partner and has been attempting to sabotage their relationship. He's been attempting to force a transition upon him for the last 5 months by dumping that estrogen into his drink. Attempting to force a transition."
Unbelievable. Hey, Six, you want to go out tonight? Oh, I'd love to. Period cramps. Yeah, I'm miserable.
He wanted to make himself appear stronger and more manly in comparison to his bandmate. The poor dude, 6, who was unknowingly guzzling all that estrogen, says he hasn't been feeling right lately, and he didn't know why. He says, I have had physical changes from the hormones, stomach ulcers, weight loss, muscle fatigue, mental changes. This 6 dude probably doesn't want to play hardcore metal anymore. He wants to play Matchbox 20 and 3 Doors Down. One final comment from the band on their former lead singer's behavior. What he did is disgusting and has had an immense negative effect on our lives. That's pretty foul, bruh. Sick, twisted, demented stuff up in Diego's brain.
That is really disturbing.
Trying to get a pimp to grow boobs.
I'd love to. I couldn't find the. Anytime you type in, I typed in the band name 6, you get Motley Crue.
Look at your, what do you call it? G-chat. There we go.
G-chat.
I got it.
You found
her?
a picture of this lady?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you find that?
News stories?
Oh, well, I looked. I didn't see any.
Daily Mail.
Okay,
I'm G-chat it to Josh and not me.
What's happening now?
Here we go.
Dana, I've been here 30 years.
I'm looking at a photo of this lady that one man was willing to dose another with estrogen in an attempt to score. And no, I would not make anywhere near. She's a nice enough looking gal, but she'd have to be Britney Spears for me to come up with a diabolical plan to hurt somebody like that. Yeah. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, no offense to this lady, but obviously maybe her personality it makes a difference. By the way, in one of these pictures, Wapple, are they in like a phony vagina tunnel? The second one you sent me?
It looks like a mouth, because it kind of looks like a uvula is above them.
Oh, I thought that was another part of a woman. Okay, gotcha.
Uvula?
Isn't that the little hang down thing?
I'm not sure.
All I know is the guy behind her looks kind of shady.
I didn't see a guy behind her.
That's the dude taking estrogen.
Where do you get estrogen? Like, can I go to Walgreens, pick up some estrogen?
I don't believe so.
I got a guy.
You do?
He'll hook you up, Josh.
I want street estrogen.
That sounds really safe, yeah.
It's social anxiety, Jesus said. Yeah, she's hot, but not drug your friend hot.
No, she's not.
I feel bad for her that she's in this position, but, it does make a difference.
That's what I was trying to say. Not drug your friend hot. We get one of these, I'd say, once every 3 months, but they are kind of fun to look at if you get the chance. You know that flight tracker thing that you can look at on the internet where you can follow the path of an airplane?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, it's become a thing now for pilots to fly around making dirty words and dirty shapes with their flight path. This time around, a pilot went ahead and drew a penis and big old nuts in the sky. And the pilot also wrote in cursive the words, "See ya."
It's impressive to me that they're able to do something like that. Did it also look to you like that penis was finishing?
I didn't look close enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah, looks like something's going on there.
Oh, yeah. He made semen with his flight path. He did. I didn't notice that the first time around, but you're correct. So again, if you didn't follow what I said,
there's some jet jizz at the end of that right there.
Yeah, guy got in an airplane, drove it around, knowing that his path, can be followed and tracked. He drew quite an impressive penis with nads and the words, "See ya." It took him 6 hours to do this. 6 hours to draw all that I mentioned. The story says here that the sky drawing was created by a pilot flying something called the Diamond DA-42 airplane. If you know those things, then that's valuable information. The plane took off 8:45 in the morning. Pardon me, 8:45 at night. Didn't land till near 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was about 6 hours of work. It's not clear yet who was piloting the plane. Whoever it was, they're funny. It is possible, they say here in the story, that it was a student pilot, if that matters at all to you. These days, anyone can check out what planes are up to by using online flight tracking tools. Have you spent any of your free time doing that?
I have not.
Nope.
The closest would be if I was waiting for someone to show up at the airport when I needed to pick them up. This is, you have to file a flight path, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm going to be flying a penis over Ohio today.
Yeah, I believe so, or else I think they get all nervous. Like, hey, what are you doing? You're not going the right way.
I don't know the rules of...
I'm surprised the guy remembered cursive. I don't, other than signing my name, I can't do cursive anymore.
Oh, really? I have like that. I do that weird half and half thing. Half cursive, half regular.
The bigger question here is, according to the story, why did the pilot draw a penis in the sky? Well, I'm guessing because he wants to be famous for 10 minutes. The other question, I guess, is, did the see ya message, is it directed at someone in particular?
Yeah, or is that his last flight? Or
maybe celebrating that he or she had finished flight school. So that, I don't know if we'll ever have these questions answered, and it's not going to keep me up at night, but there you go. Back to all the rock stars that would be walking in and out of the building endlessly here in the old days at 93X. Broken lifted 79 Chevy Jesus wants to know, Josh, was Lemmy Kilmister ever in the building? I don't remember
Not
ever
that
seeing.
I'm aware of.
But you know who...
maybe a KQ or something.
You know who I did see in the building?
Who dat?
Coolio.
Did you really?
That's awesome.
Many years ago.
What station?
I believe he was here at 93.7 The Edge is what we were called at the time.
Oh, that's cool. Pardon the pun. I always thought Coolio just had something about him where he was, I don't know, he seemed like a neat guy.
You know who else I saw? John Bon Jovi. You want to know who else? Mike Tramp from White Lion.
Door hauling Jesus says of filing a flight path. According to him, some private planes don't have to file one.
Fair enough. Magic playing machinist Jesus is also texted in this morning to remind us that we civilians don't understand the complexities of machining.
That's true. That's very true.
He's magic playing machinist Jesus. He wants us civilians to know that we wouldn't understand what it is he does.
It's not wrong.
Jesus, here's one of the most pathetic effing stories you'll hear all day. This guy completely sucks. Even in his mugshot, when you look at the guy, you can tell just looking at him, he sucks. It's a 56-year-old puke bag called Kenneth Neal, the owner of a company called The Maids of Nashville, a cleaning company, I would assume. The Maids of Nashville. Dumbbell moron Kenneth Neal, he offered one of his employees, a gal named Kaylee Watson, he offered her money to engage in sexual activity with him at work. And the gal told the cops the whole story, and they got this Kenneth ass. So here's the story. Kaylee told the cops that a few days ago, Neil told her he wanted to see her in his office, which made her uncomfortable right from the get-go. Because she's seen what the guy looks like, and he looks like he sucks. So she turned on her cell phone to record all the audio of their conversation. Oh, and she got him good. And very smart move on her part. She didn't trust this prick. Turn on your phone, record what they're saying. Neil can be heard offering her $2,000 to, quote, eat her kitty, is how it's put here in the story.
Gross.
$2,000 can be yours. Right. Who the hell, who would say something like that? $2,000 if I can eat your... He also offered her $1,000 to dump some noggin on him. All right. Next up, he offered to pay her $17,000 motor vehicle off if she would perform consistent sexual acts with him. You know, she'd become his regular thing when his wife wasn't looking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's making the car payments. All right.
Kaylee turned him down over and over again. And here's where the guy paints himself out to be the saddest effing dude around, if he hasn't already. This seals it. He offered her $2,000 just to look at her vaginas.
What?
Just take a peek?
Just to look at it.
I don't believe he would have paid her anything had she agreed to any of this stuff.
I didn't even think about that, Josh, but you're probably right. $2,000 if I can just get a look at her. And that's when Kaylee got the hell out of there. Kenneth, what's his name? Kenneth Neal. Little boy trapped in a big, dumb-looking adult's body. He got touchy with her on the way out, too, but she told the cops, and Fathead Kenneth has been taken into custody for promoting prostitution and assault. What a puke barrel.
I think if I ever asked my wife if I could, quote, eat her kitty, that would end any mood she was in.
Absolutely. That's weird.
And if I were to offer her money to do so, I think I'd show up here with a black eye.
Oh, God. I'd love to have, speaking of this gal who brought her phone into the meeting and recorded the audio of everything that this man said, and what a perfect move on her part. I would like audio, Josh, of you asking your wife if you can eat her kitty. To hear her say, what?
What did you just say?
I made a comment in that realm not too long ago, and it disgusted her for like a day. So I there's no way I could say something like that to her.
How did you phrase that exactly?
I was telling her, I made a suggestion on how she could thank a woman who gave me extra guacamole. And she didn't appreciate that whatsoever.
How you could thank a woman.
How she could thank.
How she could thank a woman for.
Yeah, I would never suggest I do that. I knew that would get me in trouble, but I said, she's like, wow, she hooked you up with guacamole. And I said, well, you know how you could thank her. And I made a suggestion, and yeah, she didn't appreciate that whatsoever.
Girl.
I know. I regretted it as it came out of my mouth. So
it happens.
Another time, was it the Last Kingdom Wapple, where that heavy farmer said he was plowing his woman?
Yes.
I made a reference to that. That also killed the mood.
Oh, it did.
I forgot exactly what he said, but it was so gross.
You're a lovely field to plow.
Yeah, and he kept saying it. Yeah, with each thrust. Yeah, it was rough.
You guys know my friggin' wife, right?
Yeah, I love your friggin' wife.
She flip-flops the rules on me when it comes to comments being appropriate or inappropriate. Josh, I told you this not that long ago, didn't I? We were sitting at the bar together, me and her. One of the only things I really enjoy doing with her anymore. And we've only been married for, 4 or 5 months or something. We're sitting at the bar, and we're kind of having fun, joking around about this person or that person. More or less of would you do her? Would you do him? You know what I'm talking about? Joking around. And she got really graphic. You civilians wouldn't understand. But really graphic in joking around about me performing a certain act on a woman, right? Graphic stuff, I can't go into it, but it made even me go, oh, God dang, you know what I mean?
And you've told me this off air, but it also wasn't the woman, it's something that you would never be interested in anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a sexual act that I would never be interested in performing on damn near any woman.
But especially this one.
So that was the joke. She's making me cringe, my skin is crawling, she's so but it was very funny. 2 nights later, we're watching television, and some gal pops up on the screen with a nice rack, and I said, Jesus, check out those T-word, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes, ew, God, gross.
That was too far.
It depends on the mood.
It's the word itself, to be clear. Okay. The word bothered her. And I said, you can't hear me say the T-word. Did you hear what you were saying to me at the bar 2 nights ago?
Yeah, what you had told me, it was very graphic, and the words she chose were shocking.
Yeah. So they'll be careful, Dana. I know you're whipped right now. You got this new lady. They'll flip-flop the rules on you. All right, back to this guy real quick.
I had texted my wife, and I asked her if I could eat her kitty. And she said, I heard you talking about that. You're right. That's gross. You wouldn't get any if you decided to ask me.
All right, ask her if I can.
Well, it sounds like she's listening. And Nick.
Back to this guy real quick. He scumbag, offering his employees money to have sex with him. I mean, how pathetic and sad. I do have a comparable story or two. One is just as disturbing as the one we just heard about this Kenneth Neal idiot. The other is much more innocent. I've known a gal my whole life. When she was young, I mean, and this really, really bothered her. And you'll understand why. When she was young, I think in high school or fresh out of high school, she was babysitting. And she really, that was her job for a while. She was a babysitter or a nanny, maybe you'd call it, whatever. And she really, really liked this couple who owned the child. How do you say that, Josh?
Yeah, that's right. Purchased the child.
She really liked the couple who owned this child and was over there all the time, taking care of this nice kid. She liked the kid even. I mean, enough time went by where she really grew to like everybody involved. And then, shockingly, I mean, this goes to show you never know who the F you're dealing with. One day, she's done with her job nannying this child, and the husband says, "Oh, hey, before you go, I wanted to ask you a question." And she's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And he says, "Before you go, would you set up a video camera and tape me while I masturbate?"
Oh, God, that is awful.
Oh, my God.
I can't even imagine. And the way you described the relationship prior to that.
And she just was disgusted and shocked, and he messed with the wrong girl, by the way, too, because I think she tried to kick him in the nuts and immediately told his wife. I mean, she did the right thing. She went after this prick. I think the guy assumed she was just going to meekly walk away. But like you were saying, Josh, and like I was saying, it's one thing to hear that from a random stranger, but she had like a relationship with these people.
Yeah.
Really trusted these people.
Oh, that's not right.
I mean, that's not even, in the situation you described, that's not even funny in a joke, you know? I mean, if I said that to you, you'd know I was joking around. Mm-hmm. But something like that's terrible.
It's disturbing.
That is disturbing.
And like I said, I had a more innocent story. Drawing back to the part of the Kenneth Neal story with his employee where he offered her, was it $2,000?
Yeah.
To just look at her vagina.
Mm-hmm.
A buddy of mine had a great line one night. We were just out shooting pocket billiards, and he hasn't had any attention from his wife for a very, very long time. Their physical relationship dried completely up. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that in our listening audience. It happens. He just hasn't had anything from the wife in a long, long, long time. And we're shooting pocket billiards, and he's talking to me about how, for Christ's sake, he can't get a piece of ass to say. His wife won't even. And he says this to me. Maybe you had to be there, but I love the line. He said, "You know what, at this point, Borny," he calls me Borny, "at this point, I think I'd pay a woman $20 just to look at my penis."
Yeah, I don't have $2,000 genitalia. I wouldn't feel comfortable charging somebody.
Yes, you do.
Well, maybe as a joke, right?
What kind of price would you put on it?
I don't think.
Who are you asking?
Josh.
I couldn't earn any money for it.
He always downplays his gear. Don't listen to him. Your genitalia is worth every penny of $2,000.
Not even worth a gift card that you received from somebody else that's half used and you didn't want it in the first place.
It's not even
by the way,
worth a refund.
So a friend of mine, he's in the trades, and he was telling me he got a tip, which he thought was very nice. He got a tip from somebody whose house he was working at, and it was a tip to a bookstore, which, he said that's not really my thing, but I thought it was very sweet. I could buy something for my kids. And he went, and most of the card was already used. He already had a suspicion that they were just looking for something to give. I wonder if it's one of those things where at the last second they thought, "Oh man, I want to tip this guy. I don't have any cash. We do have this," and didn't
remember that they
had
already
been used.
$100 gift card down to $2.95. Yeah, sure. Oh God. People are bidding on your penis now, Josh.
Oh, what's it up to?
On our text machine, they're bidding on your $20.
I'd have to throw in some concert tickets or something. I'm not comfortable with $20 just going to my penis.
All right. Got a bad news, good news thing here for you next up in our stupid news report. The bad news is, a day or two ago, one of those hot internet model influencer type ladies got caught in a big fat phony lie.
I love when this happens.
Yeah, it seems to happen.
I'll explain this all to you in a minute here, but she staged a big dramatic scene that portrayed her as a victim, so sad-ass chronic masturbators living in their mother's basement might give her more money. The good news is you can still whack off and give her all your parents' money. Hell, if you have $300, she'll even push one of her farts into a bottle for you.
Oh. No. I know how you feel about feminine flatulence.
Sure.
Is there anyone whose farts you would buy?
No.
What if they autographed the jar?
No.
What if you got to choose the meal?
No. Oh, God, I'm going to throw up. Please don't.
Well, I got 3 more that are worse. I'll leave it alone.
No. The answer is no to any fart-related questions where I hand them money in trade.
What if she lets you jar it?
No.
Okay.
You mean as it's happening?
Yeah.
No.
I think that would be even worse.
In what way?
Yeah, how is that worse?
Explain yourself. That's a bold statement.
No.
Here's the deal. The gal I was telling you about is way over there in Taiwan. She goes by the name of Cheng Wing Yi, also known as Kiara Kitty, which is so unique, a naked internet lady who included the word kitty into her stage name. That's so unique. Keep that up. Here's the lie I mentioned, where the gal got caught in a lie. This gal made the news over there this past weekend. She was forced to issue a public apology for staging an attack on herself. She got some putz that works for her to dress up as a middle-aged woman and pelt her with eggs out on the street.
How embarrassing.
So we got a guy dressed up as a lady. This gal works for Kiara Kitty. And he attacks her on the street. The fake woman accused Kiara Kitty of seducing her husband and warned her to stay away from him. And the whole bit was streamed live. And it was all nonsense. You see what she was doing there?
Yep.
A police investigation cut loose, and this idiot Kiara Kitty admitted it was all an act and apologized. Jesus, how pathetic. All to get attention and get somebody to masturbate and give her some feel bad for her. However, the general public is just as pathetic as she is, so it's no big deal. She was quickly forgiven, and Kiara Kitty, or whatever her dumb name is, she wants to remind everyone that she'll bottle a gross fart up for you, and it can be yours in trade for $300. If you are low enough to want such a thing, you might want to wait a while. Her fart jars are sold out. She can only push out so much gas a day without risking a prolapse.
I hope I never... I'm not going to say I'll never get there, because you just shouldn't never say never. Although I've said it quite a few times in the sentence.
You'll never get there.
I sure hope not.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, that one of us would step in before you got to that point, Josh.
We'd have a fart jar intervention.
I don't know. I bet if I offered one of you enough money, you'd do it for me and just kind of feed that addiction that all of a sudden I get.
All right, I'll do it.
I almost feel bad for some of these quote-unquote influencers that fake stuff. Like certain ones get busted for saying, hey, I'm in my golf stream, and it turns out it was just like a set, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't even a real plane. They're trying to act like they're super rich.
There's no
and stuff
reason
like
to feel sorry for people like that.
I mean, you've got something going on that you need some help, I think, if you're getting that way.
Definitely. I agree, Josh. It does get to a point where it's kind of sad.
Not for me. F those clowns. I don't know what this means, but this gal's website says that her jarred ass or bottled ass, quote, can be retained for up to 30 days after the jar is opened. I don't think I want to know what that means.
That's gross.
I have no interest in knowing what that. Don't tell me what the. She also offers her used bath water for $500.
Okay, how about that? Would you take something like that from, any of those girls?
Paying for it?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
You wouldn't?
No.
What if somebody offered it? Like, let's say I got it for you for Arbor Day.
Arbor Day?
Oh, Earth Day. It's coming up.
Right around the corner.
You present me a jar of
name the
bath
celebrity.
water from
Britney Spears.
I mean, it would be kind of like when I took Paul Stanley's water bottle. It would be interesting to me for about 10 minutes, and then I would throw it away.
I could feel like a psychopath eventually.
What am I going to do? Dip my pecker in it or something like that?
Yeah, well, that's one thing you could do, or maybe you bathe with it. Make a nice broth. I don't know what you do with it, but I think maybe keeping it for humor purposes.
Make some soup out of it?
Yeah.
Oh, chicken and Brittany soup. I can make chicken and Brittany.
Yeah. Soup, I did it again. You could write that on the jar.
Now, that sounds like something I might do. I might make some soup out of Britney Spears bathwater.
Yeah.
You finally found an angle here, but I'm not paying for it. I'm not giving her a dime.
I could see it being funny, like in your downstairs area with your memorabilia, up next to a bobblehead or something like that.
Britney Spears bathwater jarred up. Okay,
to me, that doesn't seem creepy. That seems just funny.
There you go. That's also an angle I might go along with, just to have it on display and say, she dipped her ass in that.
Right.
Her ass.
That's butt water right there.
What's the word? Marinated.
Yeah.
In that water.
She steeped her butt in
You
there.
found a route that I would take. You did. 2 of them, actually. Britney soup and Britney bath water. But this gal with the farts and come on with it. Just stop it. Stop being that way. It's making everybody sick.
They claim, some of these people claim, I'm making so much money jarring my farts. I mean, be honest. No, you're not.
They're not.
No,
I'm sure somebody's purchasing. For sure. Worldwide, there's got to be a few people.
You know this about me. I don't believe much of what I'm told when it comes to this endless amount of ladies on the internet, and they all claim to be raking in $11 million a day. I don't buy it. There's just too many of them for that to be realistic. Yeah, but I think if they sell themselves as an $11 million a day Instagram model, that draws some of the suckers in, and they say to themselves, well, for Christ's sake, if she's making $11 million a day, I gotta see this.
Yep.
There's actually free porn on the internet these days, too.
A lot of it. I think those girls that sell like their bathwater or something strange, their customers are probably just frequent customers. Like it's the same 2 or 3 creepy people.
I'm sure you're right.
I just can't imagine as a grown person being able to say out loud and have it be publicly known that I'm breaking ass into a bottle and putting a lid on it and shipping it out to somebody. I wouldn't be able to go outside to get the mail. I'd be so damn ashamed of myself. And don't get me wrong, go ahead, there's some people who are like, go get that money, don't worry about the haters and all those cliche lines. That's not what this is. You can go ahead and get naked, bang everybody, do whatever the hell you want. I just think there is a line where it gets to be insane. And bottling your gas is one of them.
I'm with you on that.
Okay? I mean, don't paint me as some kind of judgmental guy. Christ almighty, knock yourself out. Maybe there are Instagram models who will do that for money. They will knock themselves out.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, there's the knockout game. There's the, what was the one people are accidentally killing themselves by choking them? Was it the choking game or something?
I've heard of that.
Choking game.
I've heard of that.
Got a text here from someone saying they're going to start selling construction worker farts. Just $5. Get yours now.
God,
that's
dang.
A bargain. $5 versus the $300 from this lady in Singapore.
It's a hell of a deal. Wow, yeah. Josh, it is a hell of a deal.
Can I get a bundle on that?
You're like two for $7.50
yeah, I want to buy
or something.
in bulk or something.
Or get a subscription service so we go every month.
It's bigger when it's warm out, Jesus says. This gives a whole new meaning to next day air.
God dang.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
7 minutes.
5 minutes.
3.5 minutes. The average human, I feel like, isn't that clean. Think about how many people you walk by and you're like, no way that this guy showers.
Apparently the average human showers for 20 minutes.
What? That's crazy. 20 minutes?
Who's taking 20-minute showers? Yeah, that water bill has got to be heavy.
Bunch of NHL kids there. Why were they discussing the average shower time for a human being?
They were just asked, well, how long do you think the average person shower? Matt Boldy, a part of that.
One of those was Matt Boldy. The other names I don't recognize. Okay, Johnny Gaudreau, I recognize that name. They're all sitting around in a circle talking about how long the average person showers, and they were shocked that the average is 20 minutes.
That's a little excessive.
Is it really?
I don't think unless I'm not feeling good or something, I'm definitely under 10 minutes.
Yeah, I shave my head in the shower, bick it. So, I mean, that adds some time.
Oh, yeah. If you talk about, if I'm shaving my legs, it's going to be a minute.
I stick around in there for quite a while because I don't know when I'm going to be back. You know what I mean? The Johnny Gaudreau, not Johnny Gaudreau. Who's the kid who plays here? Matt Boldy. He was a little thrown. He said he thought it would be a lot less, 3.5 minutes, because he said when you walk past the average human being, usually you're like, no way that guy showers.
That's funny.
So he sees a lot of us as filthy. 20 minutes is the average. All right, yeah, I stick around for quite a while.
I'm sure I'm in the 15-minute range.
I think I'm 15.
Yeah, 15, 20.
They say it's bad for you. I don't care. But just in case you're curious, experts say your skin dries up and you might get a prolapse and all that stuff.
I'm not a daily showerer, though. Probably good for 3-4
hell
a week.
No, that's... Who the hell showers up?
I definitely take a horse bath at least every day. But I wash my, I put my hair up in a ponytail and I, sit on the bottom of the shower and... I'm kind of taking a bath, except I don't actually let the water fill up. Just wash the pits, wash the hot spots, and you're good to go.
The hot spots.
Fair enough, Ashley.
A whore's bath. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Pigs are playing well again, by the way. Scoring goals and such tonight. They got a home game scheduled against the Carolina Hurricane. We'll give you more details on that in a half hour. Timberwolves are playing at home tonight, too. We'll tell you about that when Randy Shaver jumps in with us. It sounds like Rudy Gobert could be back with the Wolves tonight, so you can see his awkward brand of offense on display against the San Antonio Spurs, if I didn't say that already. Josh's News is coming up next.
Half-assed morning show. They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance. 93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
The Rolling Stone Music Now podcast gets inside the biggest stories with Rolling Stone senior writer Brian Hyatt.
And here's Lil Yachty with Tierra Whack. I've never been to a fashion show. I never did any Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, and I'll tell you why. Because I would always go to events and people would say to me, oh man, Yachty, man, I love your music, bro. And I should be like, what song? At the time, I didn't love my music. I would feel like I'm in a room with all these artists and they all respect each other, and I feel like no one respects me.
Rolling Stone Music Now, wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
You can see it in her eyes. Whoa! I just got hit by a car. You good, bro? Hey. That car hit him.
A Florida deputy working a traffic crash was clipped by a car passing by on the highway early Saturday morning, and he laughed about it. Video released by the sheriff's office showed a deputy as his car was, somebody sped by about 1:50 a.m. I just got hit by a car, the deputy is heard, laughing off the incident. Moments later, video shows officials tracked down the driver who hit the deputy and ordered him out of his vehicle.
I hit you?
Yes.
My birthday, man. I'm not trying to do listen, I just left the club.
If you couldn't make out...
left the club?
He did. If you couldn't make out everything that was said in the clip, the driver asked, I hit you? Yes, the deputy responded. It's my birthday, man. I just left the club, the driver said.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to get home. The Florida Highway Patrol responded to the incident and found the driver at fault. The sheriff's office said the deputy's doing just fine. Authorities are using the video to remind drivers to slow down and move over for emergency vehicles. That is a good reminder.
I'm sorry, was that dude hammered?
No.
He wasn't.
Didn't sound like I don't know if he was not paying attention or what. Kind of seems like some people are attracted to lights on the side of the road like a moth to a flame. You know, it's just like it's a target all of a sudden. just for folks zoning out. An Oklahoma trooper was irritated when his cruiser was hit during a traffic stop over the weekend. That's because it wasn't the first time this has happened. It was the 6th. And he's politely asking motorists to stop hitting him.
What I would tell people, I mean, on a personal note, stop hitting me.
Hit me, bro.
Trooper Russell Calicote's dash camera was rolling when a driver slammed into his squad during a traffic stop in the Oklahoma City area over the weekend. He estimated the vehicle was traveling about 60 miles an hour. And there was a strong smell of alcohol when he approached that driver.
Just east of Sheridan, my car just got hit again.
Struck the back of my patrol car, I'm going to say approximately between 60, 65 miles per hour.
If the trooper appeared unusually calm in the dashcam video after just getting hit, it's because he's now an expert on the topic.
In some aspect, hit me or my patrol cars. I think I'm up to approximately around 6 times. A young female was texting on her phone and drifted off in the shoulder and slammed into the back of my patrol car while I was in it.
And before that incident,
I had just arrested a drunk driver, and another drunk driver slammed into the back of my patrol car again.
Amazingly, the trooper isn't currently dealing with any medical issues from any of these 6 collisions.
God damn.
He's a target. I love his attitude, though. Can you just stop hitting me? Hit someone else. Police say road rage may be behind a shooting which injured a motorist Saturday night in Blaine. The victim exited Highway 610 and was turning onto University Avenue about 7 p.m. when he was shot, police said. The victim told police an occupant in another vehicle behind him fired multiple shots at his vehicle, one striking the victim in the tummy. Police found the victim's vehicle with multiple bullet holes and multiple casings found in the area of the shooting. Police say the shooting was possibly the result of road rage, but remains under investigation. The victim was taken to the hospital with what was described as a minor injury.
I wouldn't think of it as minor if I got shot in, as you called it, the tummy.
I know. I thought the same thing. Must have been just a graze or something, but that would be pretty, even that to me would be pretty major. I just got shot. I would freak out. A Jersey Shore police chief was suspended after reportedly showing up drunk to an accident scene and getting into a scuffle with one of his own officers.
Oh.
It started with a suspension, at least.
I'll handle this, I bet he said.
Oh, it was weird.
Yeah.
The confrontation between Bradley Beach Police Chief Leonard Guida and Sergeant William Major erupted the night of November 9th when the chief allegedly walked up to a suspected drunk driving-related crash and began berating Officer Major about his uniform.
Why you got a jacket on that's not fit to be worn? What's on the back of it? What do you mean? Look at it, tell me what's on the back there.
It washed off.
Yeah, then get rid of it.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
You're a sergeant, for God's sake.
Okay, Chief. Let me work this DWI, okay? Chief, I'm on a DWI.
Over here.
Chief, I'm on a DWI.
Get over here.
Major took the jacket off and walked back to the smashed-up car, but Guida wasn't done and called for Major to come back. When the sergeant ignored him, the chief followed and grabbed his arm.
I'm working. I don't have time to argue about a jacket, okay?
Don't
you touch me. Don't you touch me. Don't you f***ing touch me. You have a problem? You grabbed me. Now get out of here before you get a problem.
Major yelled as he grabbed the swaying chief by his lapels and threw him up on the hood of a police cruiser.
Nice.
Before lifting the chief back off the car and shoving him away, muttering that his boss was drunk again. "You're obstructing my DWI," Major said. "You grabbed me. You were out of line. It's on video," he said. The chief suspended the officer on the spot after more back and forth, but in the end it was the chief who was suspended from his $174,000 a year job about a month after the incident. Meanwhile, a petition demanding Guida's termination was gathering signatures, saying his continued presence on the job is detrimental to the force and the community's well-being and trust. And apparently the city listened. As it was announced yesterday, the chief is taking an early retirement, quote unquote.
Dad, you're drunk. Go home. That's what it reminded me of.
It sounds like the sergeant did his best to just say, come on, man, just get out of here. And the guy wouldn't let it go.
Guy shows up drunk and he wants to critique fashion.
Yeah. He's had a drunk driving crash. Amazing.
It totally reminded me of, back playing youth hockey every once in a while. Someone's dad would get drunk and kind of cause a scene. It was, Jesus Christ. How embarrassing.
A man placed under arrest on suspicion of driving with a revoked license and driving under the influence urinated on a police officer.
Aww.
Not cool.
No.
Last Monday, 2:15 a.m., police responded to a call about a possible domestic disturbance in southeast Las Vegas. The call indicated a man had been chasing a woman in his vehicle. After becoming enraged, she had the nerve to try and stop him from driving drunk. Police pulled him over, and when they checked his record, they found his driver's license had been revoked due to him previously driving with a revoked license. Additionally, he was very, very drunk. While en route to the Clark County Detention Center, an officer said the man threatened to kick out the patrol vehicle's windows when he wasn't allowed to pee on the side of the road, and he'd also threatened to punch the officer in the face once he was released from his handcuffs. Oh, just get me out of these cuffs. Once inside the detention center, the man, quote, removed his penis from his pants and urinated directly onto the officer's leg. He's facing numerous charges.
Yeah, you're done now.
Then in Nebraska, a car theft in North Lincoln Saturday led to an officer being bitten on the leg. Around 3:45 p.m., officers were sent to a Walgreens on a report of a vehicle theft. Police said 26-year-old Michael Dixon stole a 1993 Chevy Caprice that had been left running in the parking lot. As he was leaving the area, Dixon crashed into a Ford Fusion and then ran inside a library where police took him into custody. During a struggle, Dixon bit an officer on the leg. He also had a bottle of alcohol that dropped and shattered, cutting another officer on the leg, requiring 3 stitches at a local hospital. It's dangerous to be a police officer's leg.
Seriously. If you get peed on, you get bit.
A 27-year-old Tennessee man said he broke into his neighbor's home just to deliver their mail. A woman said she heard someone enter her home from the basement door while she was upstairs. Her husband went to investigate, and the home invader said he wanted to give them their mail and proceeded to come up the basement steps.
Here you go.
Always going through the basement when you're delivering your neighbor's mail.
Secretly, yes. The husband fired a warning shot down the stairs, which caused the intruder to run away. And that's when the homeowner noticed it was their next-door neighbor, Mackenzie Clay, who had broken in. Police found a spare key and footprints leading up to the steps of the basement and went next door to speak with Clay, who stated he heard a beep from next door and just wanted to investigate to see what was going on. When officers brought him to jail, he refused to exit the vehicle and stated he'd have to be dragged out because he was too tired to move. Officers obliged and carried him into the building.
I bet they did.
A Florida man accused of disrupting a Hooters restaurant before trying to break into a home was arrested after the homeowner opened fire on him. 44-year-old Hugh Meckerman, which sounds made up, was arrested last week after he tried to break into a home in Cape Coral, leaving a path of destruction in his wake. A police report stated that earlier in the evening, February 16th, he allegedly refused to leave a Hooters restaurant, causing a ruckus before allegedly targeting a local home for a break-in. He approached the home and knocked down portions of a 6-foot fence surrounding the property before kicking in the door. The homeowner, however, was armed and fired shots at the suspect, who, amid the attempted home break-in, allegedly dropped his mom's debit card on the property's driveway, leading to a quick arrest.
Well, mom's going to be pissed.
Heck yeah.
I never go to Hooters without my mom's debit card.
Records show the man has been arrested a handful of times in previous years, including in June for violating his parole and in 2021 for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
I can always borrow your mom's debit card because she's working at Hooters.
An irate McDonald's customer in Boston got so fired up when an employee at the restaurant touched the lid of his drink that he slugged the hapless worker in the face a lot. The fast food fisticuffs happened about 7 p.m. Saturday when the 34-year-old patron punched the worker several times over the apparent indiscretion. The customer was arrested. No additional details of the incident were made immediately available by police. Again, something set him off when the person touched the lid of his drink. And in related news out of Florida, a Dunkin' employee was burned after an angry customer threw hot coffee in her face about 8:45 a.m. Sunday. When officers arrived, they learned a customer had been given an extra cup of coffee for free. But the man became irate for an unknown reason and threw the hot cup of coffee at an employee's face. Authorities have not linked this incident to any specific cause, but it is reminiscent of a prank trend that gained popularity in the mid-2000s, commonly known as fire in the hole. The viral prank saw a driver enter a fast food drive-thru, order a soft drink, yell fire in the hole, and then throw the drink back at the server before driving away.
That is so funny.
In August 2007, 4 17-year-old boys were arrested after a drive-thru server in Pennsylvania was injured being bombarded with a drink mix that was had hot sauce in it.
Oh, no.
In 2008, 2 teens from Merritt Island, Florida were charged with battery and mischief after pulling the drive-through prank. And then in 2021, the Service Employees International Union published a report highlighting the prevalence of assault and harassment in popular fast food chains, shedding light on violence disproportionately affecting fast food workers. The report noted 911 call logs from popular fast food locations in California's biggest cities. Between 2017 and 2020, the analysis found at least 77,000 violent or threatening incidents. Amazing.
Does everyone remember the hot coffee scene from, how do you call it, Kingpin?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
It's one of the funniest scenes in that whole movie.
That's saying something because that's a funny movie.
Mm-hmm.
A proposed new skyscraper on 15 Penn Plaza in New York City is going to be called Penis.
Huh.
Technically, it'll most likely be pronounced Penn 15, Penn15, but my middle schooler days taught me that means penis. There's controversy surrounding the new Penis building, scheduled to be erected in the coming years, but it's not about the name. The controversy is the skyscraper is supposed to be a commercial building across from Penn Station, but New York City is experiencing a deep housing shortage crisis, and critics want them to shift to residential.
It's always a big day for anybody's life when you got invited to join the Penn 15 Club.
Yeah, I remember the Penn 15 Club.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play that joke at my school.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
Oh. And then the bit was they write Penn 15 on your hand, at least at my school, and then you look like a fool.
Yeah, because it looks like penis.
A Southwest Miami-Dade man sat down for a meal and took a hearty swig of tea, only to discover his live-in girlfriend of 3 years allegedly placed a bleach tablet in it.
Oh.
She put bleach in his... what?
Tea.
Tea?
Yeah. 49-year-old Yvette Diaz was arrested Friday following the February 20th attempted poisoning at the couple's home. According to the report, 5:20 p.m., the victim decided to make himself a meal and some tea. Police said he briefly stepped out to make a phone call, leaving Diaz alone. That was a mistake. After finishing his call, he returned to sit and eat with Diaz at the table. Police said he offered her a bite of his tortilla, and she accepted. But when she exclaimed how spicy it was, he offered her his cup of tea, which she adamantly declined, police said. He thought. The victim then took a large gulp of the tea himself, and his throat immediately started to burn. He then noticed a strong smell of bleach emanating from the cup. He poured the drink into the sink, at which time he saw remnants of a concentrated bleach tablet.
Jesus Christ.
There's bleach in this drink. Did you put bleach in my drink? He asked his girlfriend. Police said she replied, I thought it was sugar. Turns out, according to investigators, the plan wasn't even a good one, as you'd have to down an S-ton of household bleach to do any real damage.
It would take a lot of bleach to poison somebody.
Household bleach is not even quite that strong. This was not a very good plan if the goal was to kill him or injure him significantly.
Miami-Dade fire rescue crews took the man to a hospital for treatment. Authorities took Diaz into custody.
I hate when I'm making cookies and I think I'm putting sugar in them, but it's actually bleach.
It happens to everybody. You're right.
We've all been there.
Why did this gal want to bleach your boyfriend?
They didn't say. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Philadelphia police are asking for the public's help identifying a suspect in an unusual theft from a car last week. A total of 26 spine implants were stolen from a car parked in a garage.
Spine implants?
Correct.
I'm not sure I know what that means.
Police say the medical implants were valued at more than $100,000. Tonight on FX and Hulu, the series premiere of Shogun, a 10-episode miniseries about a warlord that is in feudal Japan, and a shipwrecked British sailor who becomes a samurai. And now on Max, the streaming premiere of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. He holds every major NFL record for tight ends, Tony Gonzalez. Inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame with the class of 2019, 48 today. Goggle-wearing LA Lakers great James Worthy, 63. Thank you to Big O Jesus listening this morning. Happy belated birthday to Dragonheart Jesus, who turned 39 yesterday. This text says, just wanted to say happy birthday to me. From me, love me, F the rest. So happy birthday to Vegas G. Happy B-Day to Copenhagen Long Cut Pipe Layer Jesus from Copenhagen Long Cut Pipe Layer Jesus. Also happy birthday to 539 Pipe Fitter Jesus, and that's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver.
This guy is beautiful.
On the Half-Assed
Morning Show.
Ball loose, picked up by Brunson. Brunson inside the Hart. Hart's banks it in, and a foul! Knicks take the lead. Monty Williams is furious. He thought a foul should have been called. There was so much contact. But Josh Hart with the big bucket and a free throw coming out. Monty Williams was furious, and he may have had a case that there was so much contact when Thompson lost the ball.
The absolute worst call of the season. No call. And enough's enough. We've called the league. We've sent in clips. We're sick of hearing the same stuff over and over again. We had a chance to win the game, and the guy dove into Asar's legs, and there was a no call. That's an abomination. You cannot miss that in an NBA game, period. It's ridiculous, and we're tired of it. And I got nothing else to say. We want a fair game, and that was not fair. I'm done.
Yeah, I tell you what. Oh, my God. Why am I so loud?
I don't know. Our levels
You're
are
always loud.
all over the place.
I frightened myself by making a sound that normally I'm able to deal with quite easily. Monty Williams, head coach of the Detroit Pistons. Furious.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
That's terrible, Randy Shaver. More examples of terrible NBA officiating. You got to stop defending those guys. They suck.
I think for the most part they do a good job. This one last night, just so much was happening. It was such a scramble there.
But a guy got tackled.
He did get tackled, and a foul should have been called. Absolutely.
You can't tackle guys in the NBA.
Well,
guy got tackled. And the referee said, "Oh no, go ahead, play on." And then even the foul call there.
I think back in the 80s there was some tackling going on in the NBA.
It was a different game.
Yes.
It was a different game.
It was a bad non-call, that's for sure.
This is exciting as hell because Randy Shaver is here, and so is his coworker and our dear friend, the hard-drinking and hard-living bad girl of local television, Janel Klein.
The bad girl of local television.
Everybody says it.
My God, did she replace Belinda?
Belinda has straightened her act out. Janelle is the new bad girl.
Look out, Minneapolis.
What's going on, Janelle? How you living, girl?
I'm okay, except that a bigger injustice than that Pistons game last night is that I am separated from my all-time favorite Muppet.
I know. You don't get a chance to sit
What does that have to do with last night's Pistons game?
Because it's a total injustice.
A bigger injustice.
It's a bigger injustice.
Yes. So it's a bigger injustice.
What's going on with that?
Well, Wapple was gone yesterday. That's kind of it's unfortunate. Some people didn't notice, but yes, Wapple was gone.
I noticed.
It seemed like you did it for a second there. He's
very sick.
He was sick, so he is in his own studio just to make sure nobody else gets sick.
Sure.
So Ashley, Dana, and Janelle are in a different studio, and I know that the highlight of my week is seeing the interaction between Wapple and Janelle. Because all they do is laugh over there. loudly laugh.
The way it sounds to me is that Janelle has been moved 2 buildings down the road.
Yeah, it does sound that way.
Yeah, you need to come use my mic, Janelle.
Maybe the listeners are happy about this.
No.
Oh, no. There's only a lap. No
She's a bad girl, but she's not that bad.
Our listeners want to hear you more clearly, Janelle. So
yeah, Janelle, pop over here.
Okay.
Try something over there. Janelle's here, but yeah, we have to isolate from each other. Wapple is coming off something that was pretty bad. He was spraying out of both ends.
Both ends, Randy.
God.
He couldn't remember who he was.
No.
Do I need a description like that? No, I don't need
There
a
was
description.
vomit and diarrhea in his fur.
I thought you cared about me.
He does, but he just
like
doesn't.
that.
There's certain things that should remain a mystery in a relationship.
That's
that kind
correct.
of stuff.
You ever try to get vomit out of Muppet fur?
It's tough. It's tough. Especially mustaches and beards.
Does it have? I've always wondered that. Does it actually get all over your beard?
Stop
and
it,
stuff?
Ashley, for Christ's sake. We don't need to really get in. You really want to know if vomit gets stuck in mustaches and beards?
Yeah, because if that was the case, I don't know how you guys do it.
Can confirm.
Oh, come on. Stop this.
It smells horrible.
Oh! Well, yeah, if you don't get it out of your damn mustache, yeah.
It just hangs around.
He's still probably a little bit contagious, so we're keeping folks away from him. Where are you at now, Janelle?
Now I'm in front of all of the buttons, and I'm a little worried about that.
Just try some out.
Just push a few?
Yeah, get a few. And
Don't push the red one.
The eject button. Dana just flies through the ceiling.
Yeah.
I wish we had one of those.
Man, that coach was pissed last night.
Yeah, he was.
His team's only got 8 wins on the year. He's got a reason to be a little bit crabby. 8 or 9, 8 wins on the year. Wolves are playing tonight.
It's been a long stretch of bad basketball in Detroit, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a poke.
Yes.
Wolves playing tonight at home against Wembanyama.
He's here.
And the San Antonio. Is that a big deal? Hasn't he been here before?
He has, but...
Did he play when he was here, or was he sitting?
He played.
No,
he did play. My memory is that he played.
He's playing a lot better, though, I would say now. I mean, he's averaging 20-10. I mean, he's doing a lot of good work for them. Obviously, they don't have enough around him. That'll take some time.
I'll admit that I didn't get it at first.
Yep, you were right.
The first 5-6 games I watched him play, and I thought, why are we all coming uncorked for this kid? He looked a step slower than everybody. He looked confused.
He looks like a baby giraffe.
He does look quite a bit like a baby giraffe. But I didn't give it enough time. He's warmed up to the pro game. He seems quite confident. He's putting up great numbers.
I mean, he had the one triple-double with blocks the other night.
We talked about it, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, the guy is he's doing some good things, but I mean, it's got to be frustrating because he just doesn't have enough around him. So
not Chet. 7:00 on Bally Sports North Regular is where you can see tonight's Timberwolves game if, in fact, you're not going down to the arena. Rudy Gobert's going to come back tonight. That's the word. He missed Saturday night's game against the Brooklyn Nets because his ankle was feeling a little funny.
Going to need a little Rudy when you go up against Wemby.
Be kind of fun to see Rudy just kind of knock him on his ass.
Wembanyama?
Knock that Wembanyama on his ass and say, welcome to the big leagues, son.
Well, I'm sure they've had a few scraps before. Both.
No, I'm talking about
France.
like you were talking about the 80s and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I want to see one of those.
Well,
but they probably know each other.
You're not going to see one of those.
No, probably.
Those are long.
No, but wouldn't it be great? They know each other for years, you think, because they're both Frenchmen?
Yep.
I think, didn't Wembanyama say that maybe he looked up to the Stifle Tower when he was growing up?
I'm sure he did.
What do you think about this comment here made by Allen Iverson? Iverson. Pardon me?
Talking about practice?
It's not the practice bit. No. We've had enough of that. But what were we talking about yesterday? Oh, we were talking about how I never liked Alex Rodriguez as a ball player. Kind of gave me the willies. I thought he was a douchebag, but now the more I see of him, the more I like him. I could say the same thing about Allen Iverson. Boy, I could not stand that prick when he was a player. He was always just, and he was kind of temperamental, and he got into some trouble, and I just thought, this kid thinks he's and he's not. And the more I see of Allen Iverson now that he's obviously...
Kind of reminds me of an old school Morant.
Of old school Kevin Durant?
No, Morant. John
Morant. I'm sorry, I thought you said...
Reminds me of an old school John Morant.
Similar players.
Yeah.
But did everyone have the same thing on Allen Iverson?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, talented, though.
Oh, there was no doubt about that. I mean, no one's questioning that.
Yeah.
As he's gotten older, he's calmed down and grown up, and it's done him good because he seems like such a nice, honest. I mean, he's very emotional. I've seen when he gets together with old players, he just loves to hug and talk about the old days. I've grown to like him. He made a claim. I think he was on Shaquille O'Neal's podcast the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And he said if he played in this era of the NBA, he could average 43 points a game. He said these days, there's a lot of guys averaging around 33. He said if it was him, he was playing in this era, he could average 43, and I don't doubt it.
Well, with the way that the three-point shot is used in the game now as opposed to when he played, that would make a huge difference. It's the three-point shot is not defended like the regular shots were defended back when he played. So
I bet he could.
Yeah,
I bet he could average.
He'd probably be close. Yeah, probably be close. And
Allen?
that'd be without practice.
without. So you still love that bit.
He'd do it without practice.
If you bring up Allen Iverson, Randy's going to dump the old practice joke on you.
I'm just saying.
If you bring up Jim Mora, what's the Jim Mora thing that people say?
Playoffs. Yeah, I mean, without practice, make the playoffs.
If you bring up Kirk Cousins, he'll ask if we like that. He plays all those easy cards over and over again till your head explodes.
Got to do it.
Right.
Waffle's sick. He can't do it.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
Just the other day, I saw a headline about stupid Kirk Cousins, and it said something like, "Do you like that? Please. I wave the white flag on some of these go-to bits. I surrender.
Let's ride."
Huh?
Broncos Nation, let's ride.
See, that one's kind of funny, though. I mean, at least that one's funny, and kind of douchey, right? Russell, what's his last name? Hitchcock? Who the hell's Russell Hitchcock? For God's sake, he's in Air Supply. I just saw them the other night.
Unlimited.
Russell Wilson. He's such a smarmy bastard. I can live with that one, Waffle. But I'm telling you, just the other day, something about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a free agent. Do you like that? Why are we still hanging at that? That's not even that great of a line.
It has stood the test of time, though.
Oh, yeah. Everybody uses it. That's for sure.
And speaking of Shaquille O'Neal, he's a nice guy.
He sure comes across that way. He does a lot of nice things.
Yeah. God, he does things like this. There's a Missouri teenage kid just big as a house. Poor kid can't find tennis shoes that fit comfortably.
Sounds like Shaq.
They ain't got a lot of bucks in the bank in this kid's family. 16-year-old kid, 6'5", 380 pounds.
Oh, boy.
Size 23 shoes. Because of his feet, his mother struggled to find shoes that fit him comfortably. What does Shaq do? He hears about it on social media. He sends him a big pile of clothes, 3 full boxes of clothes, and 20 pairs of shoes.
Oh, my gosh.
So cool.
That's amazing.
He does that kind of stuff where he'll just show up at a Walmart and buy stuff for people that need some help. Seems like a really good person.
I got to go listen to his podcast because did you guys hear how he was in the news last week talking about on his podcast how he regretted so much the way he handled his marriage, his family.
Yes.
I did see
that.
And I appreciate that. Just a lot.
What did he do?
Well, he just had, I think, some thoughts about maybe some humility and some reflection about how he wished he had acted different at the height of his career.
He was talking to Jason Kelsey. And
giving him advice.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey was looking for advice on retirement.
Does Shaq have some side action or something, Janelle, going? Wouldn't that be?
What do I know?
I think he did back in the day. Yeah.
What? A pro ball player?
But he flat out said, I was a terrible husband. I mean, he was very frank about how he acted, and I thought that was pretty cool that he just came out and said that.
No kidding. I haven't listened to anybody's podcast yet. But I know that, some of those. What are the ones that you like so much, Josh? It's Jason Bateman or something?
Yeah, Smartless, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes. I think Conan O'Brien, probably the smartest person in the entire world. How quick and witty he is. Here's that chat clip.
My advice to you is if you are going to retire, accept it. Enjoy your family, brother.
Thank you.
I made a lot of mistakes to where I lost my family and I didn't have anybody. That's not the case for you. So enjoy your beautiful wife, enjoy your beautiful kids, and never dwell on what we had. Yeah. What we had is what we got. You got the ring. People know who you are. Enjoy it. Because again, I was an idiot. And I've talked about this a long time. Lost my whole family. Spent 100,000 square foot house by myself.
Did Shaq, has he gone through a few wives?
I don't know if he has.
I don't think so. I think just Shawnee, but I don't know. Maybe.
Shawnee?
Yeah.
That was the first wife's name?
Remember, she was just tiny. She is just tiny.
Well, I remember seeing photos of the two of them, and it was just ridiculous. All right.
I knew I had this somewhere. I've got Allen Iverson talking about how much he could score now.
You played in an era where we were allowed to touch people up, hand checking up the court. Somebody asked me this the other day, so I'm going to ask you. What would you average in the game today?
Ain't that too my horn?
Yeah, that's okay.
I lost the scoring title to Kobe the year he averaged 35. I averaged 33. I'm just thinking, like, if I was to play in this era where it's wide open, if I can average 33 in a season, I'm going to just take it up to 43. I know 10 points more.
I agree with that.
Gotta be.
Now that we've heard Shaq a couple of times, can we find someone? Isn't there a dude on Saturday Night Live that does a great imitation of him? Now that I've heard his voice a couple times, Have you heard some of these folks who imitate Shaq?
Yeah.
Oh, God, they're great. I'm not trying to put anybody
I forget
on.
the guy's name. Let's see if I can find it.
I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot, but now I want to hear a great Shaq imitation. Because he has that distinct monotone.
Right. Is it Jay Farrow?
I don't know. But anybody you can find it. They're very
We got
good.
Kevin Hart here.
Oh, really?
I haven't heard his.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's Jay Farrow. This might not work for me. Yeah, this isn't going to work.
Fair
Sorry.
enough.
He did it for the NBA Finals, or the NBA Awards, excuse me. Let's see if I can find it again.
Here's something for you from LeBron James now. A story about LeBron James. They say here if he's ever going to play in the NBA with his son, it's looking like he's going to have to play until the 2025-2026 season where he'll be 42 years old.
Yeah.
And that is because his son, Bronny, he had what they call here an underwhelming freshman season at the University of Southern California, and ESPN has removed him from its 2024 mock draft and now projects him to be selected in 2025. Is this the kid who damn near died?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and LeBron is not happy about it.
No.
Not happy about what?
That they took him off the list.
Well, what are you supposed to put him on the list just because?
I'm just saying what he said.
Okay, well, if he truly has had a mediocre season, then why should he be on anyone's draft list?
That's correct.
I feel like he hasn't even really. Well,
he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he hasn't really played much.
Well, he damn near died.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to give the kid a break.
Yeah.
Right.
He essentially tweeted something though about just don't do all the speculation. Whatever he earns, he's going to earn. It's not going to be because of his name or all of that. So he kind of tried to put them in their place a little bit.
LeBron said that?
Yeah.
So one side of him is saying, hey, draft my kid. The other side of him is saying he'll have to work for what he gets.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's making any sense there, Janel Klein.
I don't know what the odds are that they pull that off or they play on the same team together. Because, I mean, even if Bronny is good enough to be drafted, LeBron can't control who drafts him. And so...
he might be able to control more than you think.
Well...
You know what I mean?
You're probably right.
Right.
But I would say, on the surface, he's not going to be able to control where he goes in the draft or who selects him. And obviously, if he's not drafted by the same team that he's on at the time, we'll assume the Lakers, well, then how do you make that work?
This season, his first season at USC, Bronny James is playing 20 minutes a game. He's averaging 5.5 points.
Yeah, I mean...
Again, I'm giving him a break because maybe he's a little apprehensive out there. Who couldn't completely understand that? For God's sake, he had this terrifying heart problem. Anyway.
I mean, I think it's... I understand his desire to play with his son. It would be unique and different and one of a kind of a deal. But
the Portners did it.
It's a lot to ask of Bronny to reach that level, it sounds like.
Oh, this is funny. Someone texted in and said, is it Kenan Thompson that does the imitation of Shaq? No, Kenan Thompson does Charles Barkley, and it friggin' kills me. I love that one, too.
Wouldn't you be, like, if you were the player on the Lakers team and you got dropped so they could pick up LeBron's son, wouldn't you be like, what the hell, dude? Really?
Well, you should be able to see that coming. But, that would...
I would be so pissed off.
When Kenan Thompson did that imitation of Charles Barkley on Saturday Night Live, and he said, Sidney Poitier, I about wet my pants. All right.
People are texting, is it Ari Spears? That comedian does a good one. I can't preview stuff over here. I'd love to play it, but I don't want to throw an F-bomb on it.
Josh, it was the liquor talk.
Yeah, you do that sometimes. And let the liquor talk.
I let the liquor get the best of me, and I put something out there that was too much to ask.
You put a lot of pressure on Josh.
I do.
It's a lot.
But he normally welcomes the pressure.
I do, but if it comes from a place where I'm not sure if there's an F-bomb, because we've been burned on that before.
Oh, yes.
I don't want to do that.
By the way,
I can't preview stuff here.
One more, how do you call it, basketball note here. Jersey Cow Teat Pulling Jesus texted in to tell me that Kemba Walker scored 92 points in some European league he's playing in. Is that for real? former NBA point guard Kemba Walker, who I always really liked. Really liked watching him play. I guess he couldn't find a team this year. He's playing overseas summers, and he scored 92 points. That's hilarious. I'll have to look that up. Oh, hey, Wapple, you were saying, wouldn't that suck if you got bumped off an NBA roster by LeBron James and his kid? Mm-hmm. People are texting in saying, how do you think guys who have tried to make the Milwaukee Bucks feel every year getting bumped for the Greek Freak's brother,
right?
Who's terrible at basketball. I mean, he's absolutely terrible at it.
Yeah, and he's actually getting a lot of time on the court.
Yeah, and they invite him to the All-Star game because he's the Greek Freak's brother. That guy sucks at basketball.
I can see him doing like an All-Star game with Bronny against LeBron or something like that.
You know they'll do something, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Randy Shaver, Janel Klein, I got a question for you. How long does it take you to shower separately first? We'll cover separately first.
What does that have to do with anything?
You mean how long?
Why are you asking?
Yeah.
Because there's a route I'm taking here. You know, I'm not just reckless like I am. I'm reckless with Josh.
It depends on if I'm in a hurry or not.
You take the hair off your head, you hang it on a hook. Right, Randy?
I have to beat it first.
Oh, you beat it into submission, hang it from a hook.
Yep.
Get in the shower.
Yep.
We were talking earlier.
Squeeze it, get all the foreign substance out.
Some hockey guys sat around.
Hang it up, let it dry.
We were talking about this earlier.
It is a process, Josh. It's exhausting, actually.
Oh, I'd imagine. It's
I have
working
to get up
for you,
early in the morning to
it's working.
Do that.
You fast showerer, Janel Klein?
I mean, in and out.
Sure.
Yeah.
I stick around for a while, like I said earlier, because I don't know when I'm going to be back. But these NHL players were messing around on TikTok the other day. And they sat down. Somebody asked them, how long does it take the average person to shower? Now, Matt Boldy of the Pigs was involved in this.
Okay.
7 minutes.
5 minutes.
3.5 minutes. The average human, I feel like, isn't that clean. Think about how many people you walk by and you're like, no way that this guy showers.
Apparently the average human showers for 20 minutes.
What? That's crazy. 20 minutes?
Who's taking 20-minute showers? Yeah, that water bill's got to be heavy.
That last guy sounded like he was 67 years old. Who was he, Josh? Do you know who that was?
Let me look which one that was.
Who showers for 20 minutes?
He was the roughest of all the guys. I can't remember.
Missing some teeth, maybe?
Yep.
Lacking some chiclets. So, if you couldn't make all that out, some of the kids, Matt Boldy was one of them. Mario Ferraro, I'm guessing maybe that's Ray Ferraro's son, but I don't know. Cole Caulfield, Robert Thomas, Travis this and that, Johnny Gaudreau, they're all sitting around talking about this, and you heard them say, one of them says 7 minutes, but Matt Boldy says 3.5 minutes. He thinks that most people are unwashed, and so he assumes only 3.5. And they were told there that the average shower length for a grown person is 20 minutes. And they were kind of thrown by that. I'm kind of, I guess I stick around for a while, so I'm not that wowed by that.
People were texting in their average length of a shower, and quite a few people said, if masturbation is included, add 1 minute.
Oh, no. Most folks texted in and said, what are you doing hanging around in there so long unless you're playing with yourself? But I like to stick around. I do.
Yeah, I'm probably 15 minutes.
I've been critical.
But like I said, I bick my head in there. So
there was a study I read once that said that, like, if you spend too long in the shower, it could be like a sign that you are lonely and, like, depressed.
Lonely and depressed?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would that be?
I don't know. Me and my boyfriend talk about it all the time. I can't remember where we read it, but we always make jokes like, oh, that was an extra long shower. Are you feeling okay today?
I can see where that would be an assumption that you're in there just questioning your life and staring off into the distance. That's what I do before I leave for work every morning.
Did you guys ever, I don't know. This is more of like a dramatic young girl thing, but I used to like sit in the shower sometimes. I don't know, just bored, tired. And then with like the water coming down, I would pretend that I was in a rainy, depressing music video.
Fair enough.
I can't say I have.
Well, number one, you had a seat in your shower, like a built-in seat.
No, I just sat on the floor.
Oh, on the floor.
Oh, that is depressing.
Yeah, that's even more depressing.
Yeah.
Does everyone remember the first time you saw a setup at your buddy's house where there was a built-in seat in the shower?
Yeah, I have one of those.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I immediately assumed that someone in the family was handicapped.
I've only seen that at a hotel.
This is when I was a
Kinda
kid,
fancy.
of course. This is when I was a kid. I used the John at my buddy's house, and I saw this built-in chair in the shower, and I thought, oh my, someone in the home has health problems? And my buddy said, no, what are you talking about? I just didn't know that was a thing. I've been criticized before for my shower habits. I create a lot of suds. I soap myself up like I'm being filmed for a shampoo or soap commercial. And I've had company in the shower in the past, and they've said, Jesus, how dirty do you think you are?
And I feel bad about that. That was none of my business. I didn't need to comment on that.
Oh, but it didn't bother me. I guess I get a little obsessive with the scrubbing. Like, I really go for it.
Josh, you would have thought you'd be used to that after a while.
I just couldn't take it anymore.
The Pigs are playing well, winning games, scoring piles of goals. Tonight they got a home game scheduled against the Carolina Hurricanes. She starts at 7 o'clock there at the X, and by God, the game will be televised on Bally Sports North Plus. And also Dana is going to try and fill some furry little shoes tonight by taking Wapple's annoying bar gig. Where are you going tonight, son?
I'm going to be at 1029 in Northeast from 7 to 9 o'clock tonight, handing out some Coors Light swag and getting somebody winning some sweet tickets as well.
Northeast Minneapolis, that's where that is?
Northeast Minneapolis, yep, 1029 bar.
Are you prepared for when you walk in, people looking beyond you for Wapple?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
They're going to chant
the disappointment in their eyes.
People are going to walk in, and then they're just going to turn right around and walk back out. They're like, sweet tickets aren't that important if Wapple's not here.
Wapple, you know that neighborhood, don't you? Is that the joint that's got some kind of a famous sandwich?
Yeah, I think it does.
1029.
They have the kitchen that's same as Smack Shack. They have the lobster roll there that's very well known.
Yep.
7 to 9, you say?
7 to 9 tonight, 1029 in Northeast. We'll be hanging out, getting you people chance to win some Wild Sweet tickets and hang out the Coors Light, folks. It'll be a good
You
time.
mentioned that already.
I'm just making sure. Blaze will get mad at me if I don't mention Coors Light.
Oh, he doesn't get mad at you.
Don't listen to the sales department.
We're sending Sweetums from the Muppets instead of Kermit.
See, in the verbiage they handed me from the promotions department, they refer to you here as disease-free Dana.
But he's not that. He's the second sickest guy on the show.
You are always sick, and Ashley too, and
I've recently come up with, I think I know why I've been getting so sick lately. It's because for the last about year and a half or so, my fiance is a second grade teacher. So she brings home all of the germs. All of the germs. And she's built up, she's been doing it for 15 years. She's built up such an incredible immune system that it doesn't faze her one bit. But me, who, for a lot of reasons, not allowed around kids, I'm not around them very often, so I think I'm getting all of those secondhand germs from her.
Yeah, as soon as the kids start going to school, that's when it's trouble. That's when I started getting sick every once in a while. The kids bring it home. All right, we got Ari Spears doing Shaq.
I just got to play. Everybody know from the free throw line, I got to make the free throws. But I'm the big dog. As long as you feed me in the paint, especially when you got a smaller man on you barbecue chicken. If I get 28-10, I'm going to dominate. Everybody know you get 28-10, you're supposed to dominate. Anything less than that.
That's beautiful.
That's pretty good.
Aries.
I thought that was Shaq.
Spears.
We get texts now coming in about these Minnesota Wild Bar gigs. Got a text that says, when are you going to head up this way to North Branch? Yeah, don't hold your breath on that.
Have you done it? You're all over the place, Wapple.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't done one there.
Wasn't that an agreement you had with the Coors people that you weren't going to go to North Branch?
I honestly don't think we've ever gone to North Branch.
Yeah, that's on purpose. So don't hold your breath on that. Nobody wants to go to North Branch. Are you nuts or something?
Wow. Poor people from North Branch.
They know who they are. Retired Air Force Jesus, I'm looking at you.
The Russian kid on the Pigs roster has been named the NHL's first star of the week. He's piled up a lot of points. Led the league in points during this last week. So there you go. He's cooking now. His line is going.
One of those rare nights in the Twin Cities when you got both the big teams playing on the same night at the same time.
Traffic's going to suck.
Yeah.
That's what I always think. Boy, the Pigs better not ever hire Bob Boner to coach for their club.
Excuse me?
Bob Boner.
Bob Boner.
Well, okay, I'm messing around. I think the pronunciation of his name is Bob Bogner. I remember when he played in the league briefly. Anyone else ever heard the name Bob Bogner?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. He's coaching for the Red Wings now. Okay. He's not the head coach. He's one of many coaches.
Okay.
They had the reason I say the Pigs better not hire Bob Bogner is because he's not an honest person. Here's what happened.
Oh, you think he's lying about this?
Oh, yes. Give me a friggin' break.
It seems crazy that... Okay, look, go ahead.
Yeah. So the other night, they had this big effing send-off for Chris Chelios. Retired his number, right? Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Red Wings played him. This was Sunday night, I think. So the Red Wings are at the Blackhawks. It's Chris Chelios night. And they got a bunch of famous Chicago people to show up. Dennis Rodman showed up. Silly Eddie Vedder. Cindy Crawford, I guess, a Chicago lady. I didn't know that. One of the most famous models, one of the most famous women ever, right?
Right.
She shows up. She's wandering around doing this and that. And the Detroit Red Wings staff gets a look at her as she's walking down the hallway. The Detroit Red Wings staff, guys like Derek Lalonde, another guy I remember hearing his name when he was a player, Alex Tanguay. And Bob Bogner was one of them. And, Lalonde and Tanguay all go, damn, there's Cindy Crawford. And this Bogner guy, he's not being honest. He says, who's that? And they say, well, dude, it's Cindy Crawford. This Bogner guy was drafted in 89. So he was what, 20, 21, 22 years old?
He's 52 right now, so
right.
he's of the age you should know.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like this is a 22-year-old kid. This guy's my age. And he's pretending like he's never heard of Cindy Crawford. He's not an honest person. He was doing the I'm too cool for school bit. And they don't need that kind of garbage here in town with the Pigs. Acting like you don't know who Cindy Crawford is.
Who doesn't know Cindy Crawford? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I didn't consider he was lying. I just assumed this is the most out-of-touch person I've ever seen.
Did she also make a shot on the ice?
Yeah, she made it.
I thought I saw something where she made a half...
mid-ice, center ice.
Mid-ice shot.
Yep, that's up on 93x.com.
She's looking great.
Yeah, they put Cindy Crawford and that dopey Eddie Vedder out at center ice and gave him a hockey stick, and you try to shoot the puck from center ice through the shoot, that whole gimmick, yeah.
And she did it.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is. Give me a friggin' break. Bob Boner. Minnesota's first bar dedicated to women's sports opens this week. We talked about this.
Yes.
Yep.
A bar of their own will open noon on Friday.
Just in time for the women's Big Ten basketball tournament, which is completely sold out.
They're expecting a big crowd.
Yeah, because of the Caitlin Clark effect.
What I meant was the bar.
Yeah,
obviously.
But I'm saying, though, one of the reasons why they're timing it this way is,
Yeah, it is perfect timing. It seems women's sports are bigger than they've ever been right now.
I mean, you got the women's hockey team that's doing great over in St. Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the Lynx obviously have a great following. So.
They say that a bar of their own, if I didn't say it already, is the name of the joint, on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. They say located in the former Tracy's Saloon building. That sounds familiar to me, but I don't know if I've ever been drunk there.
I love the name.
It's very clever. But this is the shame of it all. They call it a family-friendly venue. I'm tired of that gimmick. I'm tired of families and family-friendly things. Who's with me?
You don't think that bars and family-friendly go together?
No, I'm tired of that. I'm sure they'll do well. They don't need my endorsement. But I just don't. How about one night a week you're not family-friendly? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I would have thought you said one night a week you are family-friendly. The other 6, party time. Something like that. That sounds more your style.
I'm not trying to go too far with it. Wednesdays through Sundays, they'll be open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. There you go. I'm sure they'll have a blast.
Do you want to hear more Shaq impersonations?
Oh, who's this?
This is Jay Farrow doing a Shaq impersonation.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just letting everybody know that. If we get busy, we get too busy, it's going to be okay because I'm right here like I gotta do. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Chuck, how you doing? You look good. I see you. I see everybody. I see you.
It's not bad.
No, it's okay. First guy was better.
First guy was better.
I don't know if people are joking, but a few people text in and said that Jimmy Kimmel does a good Shaq.
Oh,
is
really?
there a joke there, or is he really good at it?
He's a very talented guy. I wouldn't doubt it. Big project started up at the new Metrodome yesterday, Randy Shaver. Crews are installing new turf on the field where the Vikings play. They say it soaks up failure better than the old turf. What?
I wonder what they're
You
going
want
to
more
do.
family-friendly humor? Is that what you're looking for?
I wonder what's going to happen when the NFL is going to mandate that all the fields, because of the players, will be real grass.
That's going to cost a lot of
What
money.
would they end up doing inside the new Metrodome? Because it's not like Arizona where you can pull the field out and grow the grass and push the
I'm
field
sure they'd
back
get
in.
some type of scientists involved and they'd figure it out.
You're going to need some botanists and some, I don't even know. What do you call?
I know they don't need that in Fort Myers today, where Byron Buxton's going to play center field for the first time in 554 days.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
Today,
That makes
Buck
me
is going to be
nervous.
out in center field today.
All right.
So,
Letter
they traded for Manuel Margot yesterday, and so they've got themselves their Michael Taylor backup. So they right-handed hitting outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a person in place in case something were to go wrong, but been a lot of speculation that Buck is going to play, X number of games in center, and it's going to start today. So
we wish him all the luck in the world.
Yep.
We love Byron Buxton on this program. We're not hearing all that crap from you folks who go after Byron. But yeah, they're putting in new turf. I like the original turf at the old Metrodome. That stuff was the best.
Oh my gosh!
It was basically concrete painted an
You're talking
odd
about
shade
at
of
the
green.
at the old Metrodome.
Yeah, what did I say? Yeah, the original, the old Metrodome, the original turf.
That, Nick, was you are absolutely correct. It was green paint over cement. I trust me, I was there.
Yeah.
Green paint over cement. And those guys would get so burned up.
3-4 concussions a game.
Oh, yeah, but just the arms and legs it was just awful.
Boy, you mentioned this new outfielder, Manuel Margot. I hope he's good because I loved Michael A. Taylor.
Yeah.
God, he was a good player here and served his purpose perfectly.
He actually led the team in home runs.
Michael A. Taylor.
Amazing.
That was fun to see him. Hey, you want to hear the joke here, Josh? U.S. Bank Stadium, the new Metrodome. It's a great tornado shelter. You want to hear why?
Why?
No chance of a touchdown there. Wa-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-da.
Have you guys watched the new Simpsons episode that just came out?
Never saw it.
No, I haven't kept up for a while.
Well, they have a pretty good dish on the Vikings in that. You have to pay close attention so you don't miss it. Though I don't want to ruin it for you guys.
The new Simpsons episode.
Yeah, it's great.
I haven't watched that program in a long, long time.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I heard the Vikings dig. I stopped what I was doing. I was like, oh, come on, even the Simpsons.
Got a text message for you, Randy Shaver. You were asking what are they going to do when they have to put real grass inside the new Metrodome? I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy that could. But learn from lesbians, Jesus texted in. He's got an answer for you, Randy. He says, effing grow lights, bro.
Oh. Wapple, you could help him.
Yeah, really. I was kind of surprised that Wapple didn't pipe in.
Yes. Put in some grow lights.
I'm going to need a pool underneath there, too. Get some hydroponicking going.
Yeah, a special consultant to the NFL.
No way, dude. Grow lights, bro. What do you think about this, Randy Shaver? I know you're kind of excited to play this new college
football game, yes.
Video game.
I've seen so much on it. Every time something pops up on my feed, I read about it.
You do?
Me too.
Absolutely.
Yep. So they're launching this.
Cannot wait.
It seems like they're making a lot of good choices. It looks good.
They are. And imagine how difficult it is now to make that game realistic when all the players can change, but then also the format of the playoffs have changed again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's you've got to be able to have the game has to be able to adapt to so many different things because of how fast the NIL and the rules have changed, and it's crazy.
So what do you think about the Pop-Tarts Bowl mascot being on the cover of the video game?
Love that.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah, because you're not going to put a player on there because the players don't last very long. I wouldn't even know who to put on there.
This was an idea that somebody dumped onto social media because the Pop-Tarts Bowl was so much fun and the mascot was hilarious and he was cute, and then they got to eat him at the end of they say, put him on the stinking cover. It's very cute.
I don't know if they've decided what the cover looks like for this first inaugural.
Well, isn't it a year away yet?
No, it's this summer. It's this summer. It's
this
August.
Summer.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Lick me down.
Some of the renderings they had for the Pop-Tart graphics are pretty funny if they put that on the cover. Looks pretty cool.
He's cute.
I think they should just go with all the different mascots from every team. Just put them on the cover.
That's a cute idea, Wapo. Like a little family picture.
Mm-hmm. Just a collage.
It is kind of crazy how this game is so sorry, this game is so sought after. So much hype about it because it's been gone for so long, right? It's been gone for 15 years, something like that. So, yeah.
I really like how they're going to try to get every single team's like atmosphere. So when you're at TCF Bank Stadium, you feel like you're there. And
how the hell are they going to do that?
Well, they're going to have different each school's fight song. So they're going to have all that, and then they're going to have different cheers that the student sections say. So I'm hoping that they go, spin your head.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
For the Gophers.
There you go. That would be cute. By the way, we got to backtrack here. Talking about that new sports bar dedicated to women's sports, opening up in Minneapolis, called a Bar of Their Own. We got a text message here that says a Bar of Their Own is a play on the old Tom Hanks baseball movie of A League of Their Own.
Oh, I don't think so. No. Oh, is that right? Joe Bob Jesus has a suggestion for the cover of the new college football game.
Yeah.
Put a great, an all-time great on the cover. You know, just a Gopher great or whoever. Put it on the cover. That's a good idea.
I think the last cover, correct me if I'm wrong, Wapple, was it Desmond Howard? I think the last cover.
Well, that would have been 30-some years ago, Desmond Howard.
Well, there was a Michigan player then.
Yeah, it was Michigan player. I can't remember who it was.
But it was 15 years ago?
Something.
Well, then it sure as hell wasn't Desmond Howard.
Well, I just want to say it was a Michigan player.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fair
Maybe
enough.
It wasn't Desmond Howard.
That wouldn't surprise me if it was a Michigan. So let me get this straight. There was a Tom Hanks baseball movie called what?
A League of Their Own.
And the bar is going to be called...
very, very popular movie.
Okay, and the bar here in town is going to be...
A bar of Their Own.
I'm not making the connection at all.
I don't either. So, yeah, because A League of Their Own was about a female baseball team, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and there's this bar that's dedicated to women's sports called a Bar of Their Own.
Are you following this, Janelle? I don't see the connection. I'm going to need more text messages from this individual to explain this.
So it looks like NCAA football 14 had former Michigan quarterback Denard Robinson.
Denard. All right, fair enough. All right, before we go, this dude doesn't want to give up. This Dana White dude. What happened there, Randy?
Nothing. Not a fan.
Did you get a cramp or something? Dana White still believes that his silly power slap league could be bigger than the UFC one day.
No way.
Oh, he's trying his damnedest.
I couldn't get into it. I watched a little bit of it.
I've watched it too.
I gave it a shot.
He says it's a, quote, $450 million business. So now I don't exactly know what he means by that, and I know nothing about business, but there's one thing that I do know, and that is if you gave me a month, I bet I couldn't find 3 people who would pay $2 to watch morons slapping each other on television. He says it'll be bigger than the UFC because it's easier to understand and to participate in than MMA. There's obviously a bunch of YouTube and Twitter numbers in here that where people are at the very least watching 30 seconds of this stuff while they're cutting a turd or bored on a school bus or something. And I'm sure that somehow makes them money, but I don't know. I don't think anybody in their right mind sees this as the type of thing that's going to match up with the UFC, at least what the UFC turned into 15 some odd years ago.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine.
But he's trying like hell here, isn't he?
He says it's going to be $1 billion endeavor soon enough.
Who would you like to power slap, Janel Klein, if they crossed your path? Just come.
That's a loaded
It's a
question.
long, long list.
I mean, you draw back. Is the list long?
Wow.
You draw back to your heels and just right across the.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Are any of us on that list?
Yes.
Are you kidding? I wouldn't. There's no way I could hit anyone. Let's be real. I'd be the worst person in a fight. I've always said if I ever got in a bar fight, I would just call Ashley.
I'd protect you, Janelle.
I know you would.
I don't know. You've got some reach. I bet you could probably do some damage.
You call Ashley. Who's going to drive her there?
Oh, man.
There you go, Randy Shaver. Oh, wow. Janelle's going to stick around, though, aren't you, Jungle Jane?
I'm totally going to stick around.
We appreciate that quite a bit.
Totally.
I love that answer.
Totally.
Did you like the Minnesota accent there?
Yeah.
Totally going to get some grow lights and put them in at the Metrodome.
Totally.
Totally.
All right, Randy, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see ya.
And we'll be back with Jupiter Jane here in a few minutes.
Half-assed morning show. They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance. 93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show.
Laird Hamilton, welcome to the show, man.
The truth about a good surfer is ultimately that you understand waves. You're actually a wave reader. I could go to the beach, we're watching a wave come in, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that guy's going to crash.
Is that intuition or is that learned?
Yes, the learned becomes intuition. When you have that much volume of experience, it goes into the unconscious.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
She's a real monster. She is a menace to society. She's a master manipulator, and she should not be on the street.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, Janel Klein is here, and that makes today a very special day on the Half-Assed Morning Show because this building is as far as her ankle monitor allows her to go.
Just on the cusp.
So we appreciate you being here, Janel.
I love being here.
On this Tuesday morning, it's 8:31. Thanks, everyone, for dialing us up. You ever find yourself short on cash, Janel?
Every single day.
Yeah.
What, a big-time TV person like yourself?
I mean, hard to believe, I know.
Yeah.
Find yourself short on cash once in a while? Anyone else? Could you stand to maybe have a few more bucks in your pocket? Anyone else?
Of course.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
A few more bucks in your pocket. Can I help you out with that?
Yeah.
Would you take my
Sure.
advice?
What you got?
All right. Cubby, I always enjoyed your stories of back when you gave blood for money. Right?
Yeah.
He would walk in and he would give his blood. And in return, they'd give him some walking around money. This is when you were a young man?
Yeah, I was a young man, early days in radio, 20, 21 years old. And I had a girlfriend who worked at a place where they needed people to sell the plasma and blood and stuff like that.
Oh.
And so I would do that a couple times a week.
Oh.
They would skirt some rules here and there. And
come out of there just looking peaked.
Oh, it was bad. I looked like, once I was asked if I was a drug user because I had so many just old needle marks on my arms. And
You're carrying around a guitar case. You got needle marks in your arm. You know, they added up. They added 2 and 2 there.
But you know what? It was like I had to do it. I wasn't making any money, and so it was like I think $25 for blood. And then, and it's not as much as when you go donate blood. They don't take as much. And then plasma was like $50. And we've talked about this before, and folks have texted in saying, hey, now it's this, right? It's just a lot more than it was back then.
It is.
Yeah, I was doing it, I think, 3 times a week
Holy
for
cow.
about a year. I was very, very sickly.
Yeah.
But, what are you going to
bet.
do?
You're a slight little gentleman in the first place, and here you were
I'm compact.
You were giving up all your
fluids.
Have you noticed things are pretty expensive these days, right?
They talk about it all the time.
So a lot of people are looking to make some extra cash. This comes from a website or a magazine or something called Ask Men.
Yes, askmen.com.
They got 5 ways you can make a few bucks using your body. Your cute little body. These are ways you can make a few bucks using your body. And it's all legal. And selling plasma, like we were just talking about with old Cubby, selling plasma is on that list of 5 ways you can make money from your body.
Is selling your eggs on that list as a woman? I always see.
It is not.
Really?
It is for men, but not women.
I heard that makes quite a bit of money, but the process isn't the most wonderful process in the world.
Yeah, you can make some money on that.
Selling those eggs.
At least I've heard that.
You know how that works? I don't know how that works. Maybe I don't want to know how that works.
I have no idea. It can't be pleasant, right? They're going somewhere they usually don't.
Hot librarian Jesus said her husband donated plasma to pay for her wedding ring. Yeah, I know how it goes.
Christ.
Wow.
That's true love.
Yeah, that's commitment.
They say here about selling yo plasma, everybody at least knows somebody who has donated plasma to make some extra cash. Okay, I do, and it's Cubby. It's the process of drawing blood, spinning it to remove the plasma, and then putting the blood back into your body or someone's body. They do call it a bit invasive. Would you agree with that, Josh?
I didn't think it was bad, but that stuff doesn't really bother me.
A needle and a tube in your arm?
Yeah, that doesn't. I'm lucky in that way.
They call it time-consuming. Would you go along with that?
Definitely, yeah.
How long did they have you sitting there pumping blood out of you?
It was so long ago. I don't remember. I don't remember it being in an insane amount of time, but maybe an hour.
And here's what they say. Now, you mentioned it was $50 25 years ago. People tell you that it's a much higher price these days.
People have texted in and say you get paid
$400 a month on average.
Well, so I was doing plasma. I could do less, I think, and so that was at least once a week. So what, $200, right? And then a couple times a week with the blood.
Blood drawing was different than plasma drawing.
Yeah.
Right.
The amount they could take.
They say $400 a month on average.
There's a person here who said, I worked with a guy who planned his new motorcycle payments by how many times he could donate plasma.
F me running. I don't have a problem with the needles and the tubes and whatnot. I'm not adverse to that. But I never got around to such a thing, selling my blood. Okay, you guessed it, selling your sperms is up in here.
It is weird that eggs aren't on the list, but sperm is.
Yeah. Do you get more for selling your sperm if, like, you are, I don't know, like a hot commodity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a PhD, you're getting, well, I mean, you shouldn't be. Maybe you don't need to sell your sperm if you have a PhD, but.
Now, I've never bothered.
Well, you got to pay for your loans.
Oh, true.
I've never bothered with such a thing, just like selling blood. They do say, Ashley, to answer your question, I wasn't answering it on experience. I was going by this here write-up from Ask Men. And eggs didn't make the list maybe because these are only dudes' options? I don't know. But anyway, they say if you're going to donate your spuzz, there is a rigorous application process. It isn't like you can just stroll in, tear one loose, and walk out with a sticky handful of cash. What that application process involves, I don't know. But I think if you are a high-standing, educated type of a citizen, they'll give you more money than the 22-year-old dude in town who gets to work on a skateboard.
I've heard if, like, you're tall and you're athletic, things like that, you've got a relatively there's disease-free genetics, things like that supposedly help. That's when you sell your wad for a wad of cash, that kind of thing. That's got to be a pretty great job. I mean, gosh, the women get the bad end of that with the eggs and stuff. That sounds miserable. But a guy just goes in, takes care of himself, and walks out with a couple of bucks.
So, how tall are you? 6'3", really? Did you play any basketball? You did. Well, come on in. They say the U.S. sperm market is booming right now.
Well, it's good to know.
And that is because more folks are dialing up artificial insemination to get pregnant. I wonder why that is. Do you have any idea, Josh? Because you've been in and out of those baby-making doctor's offices a time or two. Why are we doing it with artificial insemination?
Well, maybe just because they need to. I mean, I think it's just more common now.
More common.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's choosing to do that necessarily.
For whatever reason.
Let's say you're single and want to have a kid, or maybe you're two females looking to have a kid. And then you get that.
See, I'm dumb enough. I just made a fool out of myself. I assumed that couples were saying, hey, you want to do it tonight and make a baby? Nah, let's just do it artificially. You know what I mean? Sex again with you? Nah, let's just do it artificially.
There's a Curb Your Enthusiasm this season. There's a situation where a couple wants to get pregnant. They're not able to do so, so they're just looking for guys to bang.
I just watched that episode.
Did you? Leon, the stuff he was talking about? Oh, man. I should get that clip. That was good. Can you imagine that? Like being in a situation where it's like, and I know, because I went through this, my wife and I know how difficult it is, right? And it's taxing on a relationship. It's heartbreaking every month, pretty much. But I can't imagine being in a situation where I'm walking around just asking random dudes to have sex with my wife. Because that's how they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do insemination or anything. In this case, they just wanted to have them have sex.
Now, two countries here that are so similar, I can barely tell them apart. In every way, they're similar. Canada and Australia. They prohibit men from selling their seed. I wonder why. All right. Did any of you know that you can sell your hair?
Yes.
And make some monies.
Though, like, extensions are crazy expensive, right, Ashley?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Oh, that's what it's about?
Yeah, my stepdaughter puts those in.
How the hell do you guys know this stuff?
Well, that's what she does. My sister-in-law owns a salon, and I've heard that it's crazy expensive.
That's real hair that's hanging off of those extensions?
Yeah, I think most of it is, right?
Really? Oh, I thought it was just like that Bret Michaels horse hair.
Yeah, I'm definitely not an expert, but that's what I was told, that it's human hair.
You can get like horse hair, but that's not good quality.
Bret Michaels looks, you know how Bret Michaels pulls on a wig and then he ties a bandana around that and then he puts a cowboy hat on before he leaves the house? You know how he does that every day?
That's not his hair?
I always thought his looks like horse hair, does it not?
It could be cheap stuff.
Is it fake? Do we know it's not real hair?
Bret Michaels?
Oh, he's got to be bald. I think so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, his hair started fading before they even hit their big first contract. Yeah.
I always just thought it was like over bleached.
No. That's horse or human. Okay. Selling your hairs. Okay. I assumed that extensions and stuff like that, it was just fake hair. If your hair is at least 6 inches long, an inch or more thick, and has never been dyed, bleached, colored, or otherwise chemically treated, you may be in line to make some money through selling your hairs. There's a website called Just Sell My Hair, and it acts as a middleman for buyers and sellers. This is absolutely fascinating to me. They mentioned $10,000 in here somewhere.
Yeah, up to $10,000.
You can make anywhere from $50 to $10,000.
Oh, I guess probably like never touched, never bleached, never dyed hair.
Yeah, like I just said, never been dyed, never been bleached, never been colored or otherwise chemically treated. Can anyone say that? Can anyone say that their hair has never been through any of those things?
Nope.
Even you, Wapple?
No.
What have you done to your hair?
What? Oh, well, I mean, I'm starting to lose it.
No. He's asking if you ever altered it chemically in
Never
some
been
way.
dyed.
Never.
What, did you fall asleep? Are you feeling better or worse? Or
No,
you...
I was writing some stuff
Oh,
down.
what are you writing down? You got a grocery list or something?
Dear Diary.
I hate not being in the same studio as Janelle.
Yes.
Has your hair, Wapple, has it never been dyed, bleached, colored, or otherwise chemically treated?
No, it hasn't.
You never put any hairspray in there or nothing?
Yeah, I did do hairspray. That one time when I had that afro and I was smoking the cigarette and I looked really cool.
I don't know. What?
I love that afro. I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah, I had like this afro and I was smoking a cigarette and I looked really cool.
I don't know what he's talking about.
You're saying then you had,
I had
hairspray in?
Yeah, 2 cans of hairspray.
Well, maybe that's not. Maybe that's not what they mean by chemically treated, but
Yeah, I think they mean dyed and otherwise. But yeah, shoot, back in middle school, there was so much product going around hairs. For sure, I mean, like definitely the girls, right? Big hair and stuff like that. But even the dudes.
I had to throw some sprays and whatnot in my hairdo when I was a kid just to keep it from going straight through the ceiling. You know, it was massive.
Hair gel, and then you top that off with some hairspray. Oh, it was terrible.
Whatever I could get my hands on. I know a guy who could grow the living hell out of his hairdo, and he's no kid anymore. Grows it out like crazy, and then he sells it. Oh, well, he donates it. I'm sorry. I should say he donates
Like to
it.
Locks of Love or
Yes.
something? Yep.
Yes.
Nick, I know a guy that could make some money, and his name starts with S.
Starts with S. Last name?
Squirrel.
Squirrel?
Yes.
My pal?
Yes.
Oh, my God, he is going to wet his pants when I tell him that you brought him up on the radio.
Squirrel, for those of you listening who are not familiar, he had, what he said was basically squirrel's tail, bushy, full hair.
That's
right?
why we nicknamed him Squirrel 30 years ago.
He could do that again, and think of the money he could make.
Well, and it's amazing that you remember him. You guys met a few weeks ago, and again, he is going to. We will not hear the end of this. That Janelle brought him up out of nowhere on the radio when talking about his features specifically.
If you're listening, start growing.
Yeah, if you said, when we were at the bar a few weeks ago, squirrel farted or something like that, but you were distinctly, specifically thinking of his features. We're never going to hear the end of this.
Well. I mean, if you have good hair, seems like you should put it to work.
And he does.
He does.
He does. We got a couple more of these we can cover. These are ways you can make some extra cash with your gorgeous, gorgeous body.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Squirrel just called. He wants to know what size shoes you wear, Janelle. He wants to get you a gift.
Nice. Oh my gosh! Listen, I'm just trying to, line Squirrel's pockets. This is a good income stream for him.
Can't believe this. This has just been the greatest. We got Janel Klein here, and we're talking about different ways any of us could make a few more bucks by using our hot bodies in an almost completely non-sexual way. So what do we cover so far? Different ways we can make money using our bodies. Like I said, almost completely non-sexual. Of course, a fella can sell some splooge. Anyone can sell their plasma. Folks can sell their hair. There's a couple more we didn't cover. Real quick, some texts from people on what we've covered so far. Double D's Sheezes sent us a funny tweet. At least I think it was meant to be funny. Where somebody tweeted, "My niece wants to know something. She's 12. If she donates her hair to Locks of Love and the recipient of her hair commits a crime and leaves hair at the crime scene, will her DNA be found all over the scene and thus incriminate her?"
Yeah, a few people text that same thing. Yeah, that's a great question.
I never thought of
At
that.
12 years old, deep thinker.
Yeah. Smart.
We talk about all the money you can make selling hair if you've never dyed it, you've never bleached it, you've never put chemicals in it, and there's probably very few of us, but Measurement Jesus, and don't ask what he measures, he said, "I think you guys have just found a way for me to make some money. My hair is down to the middle of my back ski, and it's never been altered in any way."
Wow.
On the topic of sperm donation, funding the Boom Boom Room Jesus has a question. Do they pay a little extra for guys in a sexless marriage?
Your stuff might be more potent, I guess.
And blood donator says this, someone who's donated blood before. The scariest part about donating blood, they say, is knowing that someday your blood might be swimming around in someone's boner.
Oh, that's... I don't like that.
You didn't like that one?
No. Something I guess I just have never thought of.
I don't know what there was to not like about that, but she doesn't like it.
Your only opportunity for something like that, Ash.
Oh, I suppose when you put it that way.
Now, here's 2 more ways you can sell your body and make some beer money. And we've discussed this before on the program. Selling your poop. And it helps people with terrible, terrible stomach problems. You got to go through a battery of tests to make sure your poop is A-OK. But if you're approved, you can make $40 per deposit several days a week for at least 60 days, and then I guess they throw you out.
A couple of people text in that exact thing, $40. One guy said he can get twice a day, even.
God dang.
And
really, I know it's disgusting, and of course it might bring about a joke or two if anyone's got one. But Josh has explained before, he knows a guy whose family had problems, and they had to, right, Josh?
Yeah, basically they think it saved his kids' lives. You know, these poop transplants, basically, I think is what they called it, colloquially. But he said that if they didn't do it, he doesn't know if his kids would still be here. Their stomachs were so messed up. It's a big deal. People have checked in on that before. My wife used to sell, before we were married, she'd sell our older 2 kids how to like a research company that was researching the effectiveness of used diapers, I should say. How well they held up to kid turds and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
She would pack them up and send them somewheres, and they'd send her a check. Poopy diapers.
Yeah, there was she'd drop them off at a place next to the Mall of America. I have no idea if it's still there. I mean, this is 20-some years ago.
How in the hell did she even find out about such a thing?
Well, I think, when you're looking for cash, you find ways, right? And
do you have any idea what kind of bread she was bringing into the mix?
No idea. If she's listening, maybe she can text me. Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, my God. I don't know how much.
That sounds terrible.
Well, I guess I don't even know how often it was, but she did it. It was like a year study, I think.
And finally, who's got the balls for this? One of those clinical studies where you show up and they feed you something, or they watch you sleep, or they give you some dope, or they... You know what I'm talking about?
I've thought about doing that before.
I bet you have.
Like the medical studies?
Yes.
That kind of stuff? Yeah.
You're a human guinea pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of depends, right? I was asked to be a part of one. I turned it down.
What did they want you to do?
It was in the early days of medical marijuana with epilepsy. I was asked if I wanted to be a part of that. A lot of people said I was an idiot for turning it down, but I don't know. I just have never done anything like that before, and I didn't feel like, at the time, I don't remember if it was late 30s, maybe mid-30s, that I didn't think that'd be the good time for me to start pot.
Man. I wonder if they would have rolled you one of those big Wonder joints.
I don't know. I've heard it's totally different, right? It's the medical stuff, supposedly. Wapple, you'd be the guy to know. I mean, I've heard it's a lot different than just whatever Wapple's doing a couple times.
You ever see what happens at a college party when they roll those Wonder joints?
Oh, it could go crazy, yeah.
They put on Thriller by Michael Jackson? That's what...
You might be thinking of a long time ago, but yeah.
Clinical studies. They say it could be a lucrative side hustle for you. Clinical research involving human volunteers in an effort to gain some medical knowledge. That would scare the hell out of me. Here, lick this toad. You know what I mean? Or eat this pill. I couldn't do that.
2 Pumps and a Quiver, Jesus said he's been donating sperm and he's making money hand over fist.
Come on, man.
Oh, I drive trucks, Jesus has done medical studies, made $3,500 for a month.
What were they doing to you?
Yeah,
we don't have much time left. Get back to us as quick as you can. What were they doing for you where they handed you $3,500 a month? That's a lot of money.
No, somebody else says a poop place pays me $50 every 12 days.
You must have some beautiful fecal matter. I guess, if you want to be one of these clinical studies people, so want to volunteer for that kind of thing, and they pay you, a couple of bucks, you call your local college. They're always doing that kind of crooked stuff at the local college.
Yeah, that's where my stuff was.
Ashley, you said you thought about things like that. What's your limit? Like, what can they do to you, and what can't they do to you?
The one that I thought about doing was to quit smoking. It was like for younger kids that were smoking, so that something along those lines would be as far as I would go. I guess like one pill or like a patch.
All right.
And it has to be beneficial to me in a way.
All right.
I got an update from my wife. $100 a week for selling diapers and free diapers. So that was the appeal there.
God, that's fascinating. I'd never heard of something like that before.
I wonder if they do that with adults. You think? Adult diapers? Maybe you can, once you get to that point.
Adult diapers.
Like, I wonder if I started wearing a diaper, I could sell that kind of stuff.
Man, it's a dark way to make some money. You know what I mean? Just, can you picture yourself filling a diaper and then packing it up nice and putting it in your car to drive it over to Bloomington or something like that?
I've been lazy enough where I kind of thought, gosh, I wish I was wearing a diaper right now. You guys ever been in that spot?
Yeah.
I know a thing or two about laziness, I guess, sure. So there you go. Did you write all that stuff down, Janelle?
I did, yeah.
All right.
Taking notes over here.
You're going to roll in some sort of Land Rover next time you're here, and we'll have to guess which one of these you started doing.
I mean, I don't know anything about your sperm, but you do have beautiful hair, Janelle. I bet you could cut that off, and people would go, "Ooh, look at that!"
Right?
Now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Beautiful blonde hairs.
People would pay for that, definitely.
Well, thanks for coming in, Janelle,
Thanks,
as usual.
you guys.
We always enjoy the living hell out of it.
Hopefully after today, you'll still come in next week.
Anytime you guys want.
Retired Air Force Jesus text in a happy anniversary to his awesome wife of 14 years. Jackie, have a sexy Tuesday.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating is having their 94-year celebration. They have special offers just for you this February. Whether you need a new furnace or a tune-up, they have something special for everyone. Visit standardheating.com to save today.